Hello, Canada. Welcome to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, where today the Eskimos and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, two teams 3-17 combined, will collide here. Two struggling teams, two desperate football clubs.
Well, and for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, their hopes lie largely in their defense, and it's led by the front four. One of the leaders, Bryant Turner, second on the squad with 6 quarterback sacks this season. And that means for the Edmonton Eskimos, their offensive line has got to be up to the challenge. And one of the leaders needs to be this guy, number 65, Simeon Rotier. He makes his first start at right guard since being called out after the Labor Day game by his general manager, Ed Hervey.
Cavis Reed says it's only going to take a win to get out of this thing, quite obviously. 8-game losing skid, but he still feels his team has a shot here. And that W came for Tim Burke and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It was hallelujah in Winnipeg last week. A win over the Saskatchewan Roughriders to end a 7-game losing streak. So here we go. Showdown of the lowdown right now. One team might be able to gather some momentum here. Jamal Miles is back, a newcomer for the Eskimos. Return man is going to take this kick from Sandro DeAngelis. In college ball, Miles went miles, an electrifying returner. We'll see what he can do in the Canadian Football League. Away we go in Edmonton on a glorious Saturday afternoon. Here's Miles trying to get outside. Straight arm right there, and he's brought up a bounce near the 27-yard line. And so we bring out the offenses here. Our starters to watch are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard.
We mentioned Simeon Rotier returning on that offensive line. He's got to provide veteran leadership. Quarterback Mike Riley, very good in his last 6 starts, very productive, over 300 yards per game. And he's going to need a little bit more out of Darius Bowman, his second game back in the lineup. Terry Koch's on the 9-game injured list. Bowman can be a game breaker, over 1,300 yards in 17 games with the Eskimos over the last 2 seasons.
He has not played, though, very much, coming off an ACL and MCL injury. Riley to the air right away, and he goes right away to a Darius Bowman. About 2 hours ago, Mike Riley and Darius Bowman were out here playing pitch and catch and getting ready for this one. And the guy they call AD hauls in the first pass.
With this Eskimo offense going, it's going to be up to the Bomber defense. As I said, led by the D-line, Bryant Turner, 2 sacks last week. Alex Hall, one of the most dominant pass rushers in the CFL right now. Alex Zuber on the back end. He's played well, but still looking for his first interception in over 2 years.
Second down, short yardage here. Riley will hand off this time to Hugh Charles, who will fight and claw. Charles back in the Edmonton lineup after missing the last 2 games with a hamstring pull.
And for the Eskimos, they want to try and get things going early here. Look at their first possessions through the first 10 games, 19 points in their 10 opening possessions thus far, but just 1 touchdown.
Well, they're not going to get any points on this possession either, because they're going to kick the ball away. 3rd down in a long yard, the spot not favorable for Hugh Charles. So right away, Cavis Reed elects not to go for it on 3rd down, and they'll boot the ball away to the Blue Bombers. Bradshaw does that. Huge kick. DeMond Washington goes backwards. There's a flag for no yards on the play. Washington's got positive yardage. He's got a seam and more. DeMond Washington is going to score here. First touch for Winnipeg, and they take it the distance on a punt return by DeMond Washington, a 76-yarder. There was a flag on the play. First occasion was no yards, but Murray Clark is our referee today. Will this ball be coming back?
No yards. Edmonton number 38. Holding. Winnipeg number 38. About 5 yards. First down.
So forget all that. DeMond Washington, special return that time. Washington has already had a punt return for a touchdown this season. This one will be taken back because of a holding call after the no yards.
And it's on the backside, away from where the return is happening. Linebacker number 38, Ian Wild, came from that backside. He got called. Mon Washington already with one punt return touchdown this season. He's dangerous in that role. Aaron Woods had been trying to fill the returner's role. He got injured, put on the 9-game list. So Washington, despite being a starter on defense, is back in. He provides a legit threat back there.
Justin Golds gets the start again for the Blue Bombers. The handoff to Will Ford. Minimal gain, maybe a half yard at best.
We'll take a look back at that punt. There's linebacker Ian Wild on that punt return. Number 38, the announced call. Our early indication is that that might have been the wrong number announced.
Golds out of the pocket. This is what he does well. He will get a first down. He fumbled the football. Edmonton has it. Welcome back to the lineup, J.C. Sherritt. Now was Justin Golds down on contact? Did he have a knee down, or was this indeed a fumble? Here it is here. Golds will be hit right there, and the ball comes out. This might indeed be down by contact for Justin Golds. Ball comes flying out. J.C. Sherritt pounced on it. So we'll sort it out. We'll come back to Edmonton's Commonwealth Stadium in a moment. Could be the first turnover of this ball game.
Now Steve's looking pretty good so far.
Hey, hold on, Brent. What's this?
Well, that's the new Nissan.
There's no doubt that's definitely going to throw him off.
She's seen it too. Oh, this could be trouble.
Oh, man.
Got to think fast, Herbie. Backpedal, backpedal.
Oh, he's down in flames, and now the ice-cold shoulder.
One last play. No, game over.
GPS, take him to the doghouse.
Make a powerful first impression. The completely redesigned Nissan Sentra.
We brought 4 new flavors of Mountain Dew to Canada, and your votes decided which one would stay. Now, only one will be saved. Introducing the official new Dew flavor chosen by you. Voltage, the exhilarating taste of Dew charged with ginseng and raspberry citrus. Taste the winner, now in bottles and cans.
Get us out of here! Come on! What are you doing?
No! Think about that. Quality parts and personalized advice.
What were you thinking, man?
That's worth listening to. Napa Auto Parts. Custom advice comes standard.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. As we went to break, the ruling on the field was a fumble, and then Tim Burke
Winnipeg is challenging the ruling on the field. The fumbled ball before down with contact. We'll review the play.
So they are indeed challenging, and let's take another look. Dwayne Ford.
Yes, keep an eye on the left elbow of Justin Golds. See if that touches down. That's going to be the first thing to touch down. Now it looks like that ball might have been starting to pop out. Just take a different angle here.
So again, it looked like Golds was on his backside. Was he buffered by Donovan Alexander's body as well? Here he is. Is he down there? Then the ball pops out.
Yeah, and I think this one, from my perspective on that one, is that it should be overturned and should maintain, Winnipeg should maintain possession of this.
Here's regular speed.
It looks like the elbow and the hip are hitting the turf. Then the ball pops free as he lands.
Golds likes to take off with it. That's been obvious so far. He averages about 6.2 yards per carry. He has also fumbled the ball 4 times, however, and has lost the ball 3 times. Let's see if this indeed is a fumble or this call is overturned. Here's Murray Clark.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Ball recovered by Edmonton. First down.
First turnover. It's been such an issue for the Blue Bombers this season. Team that offensively has last in so many categories.
That might have been you, Rennie.
A team that is minus 17 in turnover differential.
Hey, keep swiping.
It's worst in the Canadian Football League. So Mike Riley and company swinging it out. Hugh Charles has a lot of room here. A cutback and another. Hugh Charles picks up 23 yards down near the Winnipeg 36-yard line.
They create a little misdirection here with the motion from Fred Stamps on that slot back sweep. Stamps is going to come one way. Hugh Charles is going to swing out the other way. Good poise here from quarterback Mike Riley. He's got the defensive end Alex Hall right in his face, but he delays just long enough to let Hall go by. A little pump fake and dumps it over the top there to Hugh Charles.
Charles again down Main Street. Half the first down yardage near the Winnipeg 30 this time.
Well, they hope Hugh Charles can add a little more balance to this Edmonton Eskimo offense, get back to what he did in week 2, his big game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 11 carries, 119 yards on the ground, another 27 on 3 catches, contributing to that pass game. It's a team that's been relying a lot on the arm and the legs of quarterback Mike Riley of late offensively.
2nd and 6 now. Far sideline, first down. Marcus Henry hauling it in. Henry, the wideout position, filling in for the injured Kerry Cope, who is now on the 9-game injured list.
They like Marcus Henry in this lineup. Gives him obviously good size. He's a guy who can line up at the tight end position for them in certain packages as well, which allows them to adjust that scheme a little bit without having to make substitutions.
1st and 10 Eskimos from the Winnipeg 25. Trips to the left for Riley. He's going to go that way. He rolls and fires, and it is caught. And that'll be another first down. And Darius Bowman, after missing 9 games, has now made 2 quick catches in this game. Go with 5 last week, and that's 7 receptions already. And Darius Bowman obviously missed, and what a weapon he is to Mike Riley's arsenal.
Yeah, Mike Riley gets that half roll going. He's got Calvin McCarty, the fullback, blocking on the backside of that. Marcus Henry, we mentioned the big receiver, can help you out with that blocking scheme. He had the crack block to try and lock down that corner to get Riley outside on the play.
Red zone time now. Here's what the Eskimos do in that red zone. Riley to the end zone and caught! Touchdown! Who else? Fred Stamps. So the Eskimos make the Blue Bombers pay for an early turnover here, and it's Mike Riley to Fred Stamps. Familiar refrain.
Well, 18th passing touchdown of the year for the Edmonton Eskimos, 19th, but number 8 on the year for Fred Stamps, their go-to guy.
Big drive engineered by Mike Riley after the turnover by Justin Bolts. Number 2 again at 6. The Eskimos take an early 7-0 lead.
Shop at Safeway and play Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to win. You can win $1 million if 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns during the same game. You could also win an Electrolux Nimble Bagless Cyclonic Upright. Sets a new standard in performance and control thanks to our revolutionary swivel action steering system. Or a DVD prize pack from E1 featuring Now You See Me starring Morgan Freeman. Coming soon to Blu-ray and DVD. Shop and play at Safeway.
This is my Nissan Pathfinder. It's unmatched fuel economy for endless possibilities. This is capability and freedom. This is intuitive all-wheel drive and amazing power. It's an easy access third row. It's safety and security. It's making unforgettable memories. These are my values. This is my Pathfinder.
Ooh, yeah, ooh, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, ooh, yeah.
Feel free to satisfy your buttery cravings with new Special K popcorn chips. With 20 buttery chips for 80 calories, you can bring the flavor of the movies home and have the freedom to enjoy. New Special K popcorn chips. Find them in the cracker aisle.
A guy who grew up idolizing Deion Sanders. That's why he wears that number. Fred Stamps from Louisiana Lafayette does it again, his 8th major of the season.
And they've got quads to that wide side of the field. It's the two middle guys. Bowman on the shallow cross, Fred Stamps on the little bit deeper cross, working in combination. They know they're going to get man coverage down there, so they've just got to make sure that they spread those defenders a little bit. Good job to get that inside release for Freddie Stamps.
What has been an all too typical start for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. This team looked like they had a touchdown on a return by DeMond Washington, taken back by penalty, then a fumble. This is a team, during its first series, first possessions, Winnipeg this season, has not scored a touchdown, only 3 points to show for it. And that streak, that dubious streak, continues here. So the Eskimos strike first. Back at the goal line is Will Ford. Ford now up near the 24-yard line, so again an uphill battle for Justin Golds and the Blue Bombers, as they have most of the season, playing from behind early.
They've got to get things going. They're going to rely a little bit on Justin Golds to use his legs. 129 yards on the ground the last 2 games for him. Up front, some changes. Tyson Pencer, the 3rd overall pick in last year's draft, makes his first career start at right guard. Terrence Edwards, their leading receiver, perennial go-to guy, usually around that 1,000-yard mark, but he's still looking for his first touchdown of 2013.
We'll watch Tyson Pencer matched up with Marcus Howard in this series here, and Odell Willis as well. Quick hitter to Clarence Denmark, goes nowhere. In fact, a loss on the play of 2 yards.
Joe Burnett was all over that one. Some of the others on this Edmonton Eskimo defense. Big one, J.C. Sherritt returns to the linebacking core. First game since August 2nd. Expect to see a lot of he and Rennie Curran on the field together. Marcus Howard, 2 sacks last week, bringing him to 4 on the season. Damaso Munoz, a guy who's picked up a lot of the slack in Sherritt's absence.
Golds is in trouble, and he's going down. Armando Sewell with the first sack here in this one. And the Blue Bombers forced to kick again. Another 2 and out and another dubious distinction. The Blue Bombers lead the CFL in 2 and outs.
And 5th sack on the season for big Armando Sewell. From his defensive tackle spot, you see him work the twist with his fellow tackle, Ted Laurent. You always risk this with a young offensive line or changes on the offensive line, that you're going to have issues in terms of communication and execution, in terms of making those switches when the twists occur.
Mike Renault, end-over-end kick. Joe Burnett, double duty here. Return man as well, right at the midfield stripe. That's where the Eskimos will scrimmage again midway through the first quarter. Already the Eskimos defense having an impact here at Commonwealth.
This is my Nissan Pathfinder. It's unmatched fuel economy for endless possibilities. This is capability and freedom. This is intuitive all-wheel drive and amazing power. It's an easy access 3rd row. It's safety and security. It's making unforgettable memories. These are my values. This is my Pathfinder.
For 185 years, Irwin has been making professional tools for professional tradesmen. Today, Irwin Tools salutes those who build this nation with their bare hands. Join Irwin in celebrating National Tradesman Day to say thanks for a job well done.
Did you know that over 340,000 children and youth rely on Canadian food banks every month? Let's help keep their lunch boxes full. Go to PurelatorTackleHunger.com to find out how you can get involved. Purelator Tackle Hunger.
Because men in Canada all have their unique style, right now at Moore's, it's buy one, get one free on almost everything in the store. Because Canada just wouldn't be Canada without you being you. Moore's, tailored for Canada, tailored for you.
At GoDaddy, we live and breathe customer service.
24 hours a day.
7 days a week.
365 days a year.
We can help secure a domain name for your small business
or big idea. Call us today and experience great GoDaddy customer service for yourself.
Just a little clarification earlier on the called back punt return touchdown by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It sounded like number 38. Ian Wild was the man who was called. I believe it was meant to be called at least on number 8. Brandon Stewart, one of the guys right at the point of attack. You see him end up on the back of the man he's trying to block. Chris Robahamba on the play. Kept that hand on a little bit long, so that's where the flag should have been directed.
Riley checks it down, pitches it out. Hugh Charles, running room, power sweep. Charles dives forward. Another first down. The dynamic Hugh Charles missing in action last 2 games again. Edmonton Eskimos miss that ability.
But watch pre-snap, Enoch Mwamba, among other members of this Winnipeg Blue Bomber defense, they're caught off guard by the motion. They're in the middle of trying to adjust. When that ball gets snapped, misdirection from the Eskimos offensive line leaves Hugh Charles with lots of room to roam out to the wide side of the field.
1st and 10, Riley rolls, here's the rush. Gets hit hard, delivers the football, but it's incomplete, and Mike Riley lucky to get up as he took some punishment again. This is a guy who has been like Rocky Balboa in his first few games with the Edmonton Eskimos, taking shot after shot after shot.
Well, Enoch Mwamba, he's going to come with the delayed blitz here as Mike Riley starts that roll. And we know Riley's absolutely fearless. I mean, Mwamba's dead in the middle of his sight line. He knows he's coming. Willing to take that shot to make the throw.
First incompletion from the Eskimos, and Riley now he wants to dance and gets out of the pocket, and he's got loads of room. Will he step out of bounds? Yes, he will. We chatted with Riley yesterday about, you know, his fearlessness out there and that reckless abandon that he has. He has a warrior type mentality, and said that, you know, I'm not into hook sliding. That's not what I want to do.
Well, you look at both these quarterbacks, Riley and Goltz. They both love to run, completely comfortable doing it, and they're dangerous when they do it. You've got very aggressive defensive lines in Winnipeg and Edmonton. What they need to be in this game is discipline. Maintain those rush lanes. Be aware of contain to try and contain these guys in what they do with on the run game.
Former BC Lions star at Central Washington. Inside reverse handoff. Charles again, helmet first. Ian Wild, the tackle. Alex Suber there also, about 3 yards on the pickup. It will be 2nd and 7 now.
Not much discussion coming into this game, Rod, for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers who want last game to be sort of a springboard for them in terms of turning things around in the second half of the year. Edmonton Eskimos still looking for that turning point, coming in today at 1-9. Hoping to get win number 2 today and get on a little bit of a roll.
Blue Bombers have been such slow starters for most of the season. And Riley hammered again. This time Stamps hauls it in. There's a penalty there, and this time the Blue Bombers are going to pay for their aggressiveness as Mike Riley gets up but got rocked, roughing the quarterback.
Alex Hall's been close a couple of times.
Winnipeg number 96. Half the distance at the end of the play. First down.
Well, I suspect this one isn't so much the timing, but you see the helmet-to-helmet contact from Alex Hall. I know this is a challenge for a defensive end who stands 6'6". He's got to get low and make sure that hit comes in the strike zone.
Alex Hall, 12 sacks on the season, leads the Canadian Football League. This front four, ferocious. Net gain of 20 yards on the play. Riley, first and goal again, stands in. Can't connect this time with a Darius Bowman on an under crossing route. Watched closely by Enoch Mwamba.
Bowman needs to become a big part of this offense again in a real hurry. Again, this is a guy who was among the league's leaders in receiving back in 2011, got injured in game 2 last year. This is game 18 as an Edmonton Eskimo for Bowman. He's got over 1,300 yards, and among those 6 games of 100 plus.
Calvin McCarty brought the play in from the sideline. Let's see if he's involved. Riley looking. Now he's in trouble and throws it away out of bounds. What a play by Mike Riley to avoid the sack. And now a late flag. As Riley was getting up, something might have been said. And a late flag here. Who is this against?
Well, now this may be if the ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage.
Edmonton, number 13. Ball spotted, point of the foul. 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd down. It was going to be 3rd down regardless. Had to get over the line of scrimmage, and it fluttered close to it. Let's take another look.
Well, we're going to take a look first at a Darius Bowman who's running the crossing route here, shallow cross. Mike Riley's got him early, but isn't going to have an opportunity to get him the football because of that pocket breaking down. He's not able to see Bowman because he's got the trees right in his face. On the throwaway, again, the ball thrown out of bounds, but it's got to get across that line of scrimmage on its way out.
Hometown kicker Hugh O'Neill, tough week last week, comes through this time. Only 1 of 3 in the game against Calgary last week. Hits this time, 10-0 Eskimos.
For a chemical-free way to get rid of dirt, catch it with the ultimate dirt catcher, only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. The dirt catcher has a 360-degree swivel head and a telescopic handle, so dirt has nowhere to hide. The reusable microfiber pads are machine washable and work wet or dry on almost any surface. Pick up the ultimate dirt catcher and catch the dirt, only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
The wheat in every mini wheat has got to be just right. The perfect golden color, high in fiber. My dad taught me, and I taught my son out there.
Morning, Pa.
Morning. Wait, who's driving the...
99 bushels of wheat on the farm, 99 bushels of wheat.
With 8 layers of 100% whole grain and fiber, they're as hearty as they are tasty.
Wheat on the farm, 45 bushels of wheat. Take one down, pass it around.
Kellogg's Mini Wheat Cereal. Lots of good in a little biscuit.
I was given an opportunity when a lot of people didn't give me an opportunity, you know, to come in here and be a part of something that that was great. I truly feel that I'm leaving here as a guy that's had a positive impact on the organization, a guy that's had a positive impact on this community, and at the end of the day, that's really all that matters to me.
Well, the Buck Pierce era ended after the win over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Buck Pierce traded as Justin Goltz, the heir apparent. Incomplete pass, but the Buck Pierce era over after the trade with BC. Let's go to the sideline and join Sarah Orleski.
Well, Brad, even though it had become clear as the season had gone on that the Buck Pierce era in Winnipeg was coming to a close, it still caught a lot of people off guard when the news was announced Sunday night after the Banjo Bowl that Buck Pierce had in fact been traded to the BC Lions. Justin Goltz described it this week as being a bit of a fresh start for the quarterbacks in the locker room, but this is a little bit of an unconventional status in the sense that even though they've traded away Buck Pierce, it hasn't made their quarterback situation necessarily a lot clearer. They still have not named a starter for the rest of this season, although Justin Goltz is making his 3rd consecutive start today.
Thank you, Sarah. There was a hold on the play, so this is coming back. So Winnipeg will again have another first down nullified.
Holding. Winnipeg number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Dwayne, as Sarah mentioned, and you know, Buck Pierce, very positive guy in the community, and certainly a lot of Blue Bomber fans thought he would be the guy who would lead them down the path Led them to a Grey Cup game a couple of seasons ago as we take a look at the holding call. Buck Pierce just couldn't stay in ball games.
Well, no, and I mean, they needed to clarify their quarterback situation. The bottom line is they had two choices with Buck Pierce, either trade him or put him on the 9-game injured list. They were able to get something in Akeem Foster in a trade, so that was a good decision.
Gold's going deep. Look out. Picked off. Chris Rabakamba, Canadian cornerback, has his second interception of the season. An Edmonton Eskimo team that hasn't had a lot of picks, uncharacteristically. Normally they do, but Justin Golds throws up another. That's his 7th interception.
Yeah, thank you to the defensive line. It's Odell Willis on this one who provides the pressure. He's coming from the bottom of your screen. Watch for the inside spin move here on Shannon Bodeman. Sets him up. There it is. And away he goes. Justin Golds throws it too early. Off target. High overthrow. Rabakamba's basically calling a fair catch on this one.
Darius Bowman, quick hitter. Now room down the sideline, and Darius Bowman. That is the AD that we saw a few seasons ago when he put up monster numbers here. 32-yard gain down the sideline. Keep in mind he was a former Blue Bomber as well. Little pitch and catch here, and then shakes Javon Johnson.
Yeah, but not necessarily a happy ending for the Edmonton Eskimos here. You see him knocked out of bounds by Koshi Mwamba. Bowman went to the bench after the celebration, favoring his shoulder a little bit.
Guy who's coming off knee injuries. Riley goes deep, end zone, and an overthrow by a large margin, looking for his favorite target, Fred Stamps. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 here from the Winnipeg 27-yard line.
And just take a look back to Darius Bowman on the previous play. You see him signal to the sideline. He's kind of pointing to that right shoulder, letting that right arm hang as he hits the sidelines.
That's all the Eskimos need right now. Again, Kerry Cope on the 9-game injured list.
Well, Bowman's back in here, so that's a good sign.
6 receivers set. Big rush. Riley calls his own number. Will he hook slide? Yes, he does. Mike Riley says he prefers not to do that. Kerry Joseph, who we talked to before this game, said, listen, son, and I mean this in the nicest way, you've got to learn how to hook slide.
Yeah, and Kerry Joseph, by his own admission, learned it the hard way, taking a lot of hits that he didn't need to take. But I'll tell you what, this one is exactly the reason why Mike Riley doesn't like the hook slide. Is the hook slide doesn't necessarily spare you from getting hit unless you do it early enough. And as he would suggest, if you've got room to do a slide early, then you've got room to pick up a couple more yards.
Says the only time he's really been hurt is when he's stayed in the pocket and taken punishment, not when he's out running. Quick roll. Running room for Bowman now. Darius Bowman to the end zone. Touchdown. His first since 2011. Welcome back to the house. A guy who was known for being there a lot. Darius Bowman.
Well, they free up Bowman here on the cross motion. He's going to come left to right on your screen. You'll see what ends up being like an option play. Defensive end Kenny Maynor is free. But Mike Riley knows he's got that easy little pass out to the flat to Darius Bowman. Bowman sets up almost as if he's just going to have a slush block on the backside of that protection, and then releases out to the flat uncovered.
O'Neill the point after to make it a quick 17-0 lead. And for the Blue Bombers, I mean, the Eskimos, they're so desperate for a win. 8-game losing streak. But think about Winnipeg and the turnover differential. There's now 14 points off of turnovers in this game, and Winnipeg still hasn't had a first down. Go back to last week against Regina. No first downs in the first half. They still haven't got a first down here.
Last week they were fortunate to get a lot of plays out of their defense and special teams. And obviously not the most cleanly played game by the Saskatchewan Roughriders a week ago. A number of uncharacteristic mistakes and turnovers from the green and white. But the Eskimos offensively look sharp in this ball game, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers want to make that a 2-game winning streak. They're going to have to step up in a hurry.
Again, a Darius Bowman only played 2 games last year.
You believe, stick with us, baby.
And then missed the rest of the season. 9 games this year, played last week. Now is his first touchdown in 2 seasons. More importantly for the hometown Eskimos, they have a 17-0 lead. Bombers are sputtering here out of the gate once again. Just over a minute to go in this first quarter.
I think one of the keys offensively for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers against that aggressive Edmonton defensive line. I've said this before about Justin Goltz. His strength is his mobility. Winnipeg needs to move that pocket around, put Goltz in a position where he's got an option to run or throw, but make things difficult for that defensive line, particularly when you find yourself in passing situations.
They'll keep it on the ground this time. Will Ford filling in for the injured Chad Simpson. Was a foot issue. Ford doesn't have the numbers or the time that Chad Simpson has put in, but he is capable of busting the big play occasionally. Blue Bombers need some big plays right now. It'll be second down coming up. 3 yards to go.
Will Ford produced his big play on special teams last week with a kickoff return touchdown against the Riders.
Second down conversion for Winnipeg. Looking for their first down. Goltz going to be close to the first down marker. I'm not sure he got there. See where the spot is. 10 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Again, last week against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Bombers came in 1-8. They ended up knocking off the Riders, who were 8-1 at the time. Huge second half, but their first half, again, their offense anemic. And it has been a struggle offensively for this Winnipeg team, and they are going to be, it looks like, a little bit shy here.
I'm not typically an advocate, Rod, for gambling when you're in your own territory.
First down.
Much needed one for Winnipeg, as they've got to get some continuity here. They've got to stay on the field.
Could be the final play of this opening stanza. Justin Goltz, who said last week that win was a huge relief for the city, for the team. Getting that off their shoulder pads. Trying to get it back to back. Inside handoff again. Clarence Denmark churns close to another first down marker. So the teams will change sides. It's the final play of this opening quarter. Turnover is a killer for the Blue Bombers. 14 points off of them. 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdown tosses from Mike Riley. One to Fred Stamps. The other to a Darius Bowman. 17-0 Edmonton.
So have you thought about the offer?
Hitching a ride on the crazy plane? I'm not exactly a team player.
We're not exactly a team. What is that? That's Superhero Agent Ward.
You seem nervous.
We're not the only ones interested in people with powers. The world will want to exploit him. He's gonna need some help.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. new series starts Tuesday, September 24th on CTV.
This one.
A prize thoroughbred. 3 years old, 16 hands, runs like the wind. Asking $70,000.
How about this one?
Ah, German purebred. Very powerful. Great handling. Looking at $24,990.
You got a deal.
Easy now, Tiguan.
Volkswagen, das Auto.
From morning walk to cappuccino froth, porch swing to downtown, it's all yours. You know it's rhythm and blues, and it knows your deep secret. That even when your wandering heart takes off, it never leaves home sweet home. There's a deep, rich, enduring color for everything, including where you come from. Benjamin Moore, for everything that matters.
Flash of the two last place teams in the CFL so far this season. So far, the Edmonton Eskimos, rather unfamiliar territory. They haven't had many leads after opening quarters, only 3 so far this season. But what is too familiar for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers? A 0 that's put up on that board.
Yeah, and obviously their offense is going to need to get going in this football game. Their defense has carried them and has been their strength throughout this season. But they're finding they've got their hands full with Mike Riley in this Edmonton Eskimo offense. Mike Riley really has come into his own after the first 4 games of the season. A slow start for him in his first year as a starter, but he's averaged over 300 yards a game throwing the football over the last 6 weeks, and he's got 124 yards in the first quarter of this ball game.
Riley's looked awfully good. Justin Goltz has fumbled and also thrown an interception. He needs to get on track here. In the shadows from that speaker overhead on 2nd and 1, stuffed. Marcus Howard lays into Will Ford, and they actually lost maybe a half yard here. It's going to be 3rd and 2, so instead of maybe a 3rd down gamble at the very worst, they're going to have to kick it away.
Marcus Howard coming off a big game in Calgary last Friday with 2 sacks. Free man off the edge, streaks into the backfield.
Team has gone through so much turmoil and injury on the field. Glenn January is down. What a soap opera it's been in the River City this season. GM gets fired. President let go. Turnover there. Buck Pierce traded. Losses mount. This season, though, this team 3-17 over its last 20. Marcel Belfay, see him there up top.
Well, brought in first as an offensive consultant and now as the offensive coordinator. Going to be one of the key guys in trying to get things turned around here for this team and its young quarterbacks.
On January.
And this is one of the guys that the Bombers can ill afford to lose. Their left tackle, their best offensive lineman, an East Division All-Star. You look at this lineup, they've already got Tyson Pencer making his first start at right guard. The 6th lineman is Mark Parenteau, acquired in a trade with the Toronto Argonauts this past week in exchange for backup running back, slot back Anthony Woodson.
Mike Renault, leading punter in the Canadian Football League. There is a no yards on the play. 15-yard penalty. Mike Riley brings his offense out again, and I'm sure once again brings out that fearless style he's had since he can remember.
I've been playing football since I was 7 years old, and this is what I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. And to know all the hard work and everything that's gotten me to this point, to get an opportunity. You know, there's 8 guys that get to start in this league, and I know how long it took me, 3 seasons to get an opportunity to be that guy. And I'm not going to give this up without a fight.
Mike Riley 1-9 as a starter in 2013, 2-10 overall. Remember, he had a couple of starts last year with the BC Lions. Riley, quick hitter, far side, up near the 40-yard line, and once again connecting with Darius Bowman.
Rod, I mentioned earlier how it took Mike Riley a little bit of time to find some chemistry with his receivers, get his feet wet in this Edmonton Eskimo offense. There you see through the first 4 games, 161 yards a game, 3 touchdowns versus 5 interceptions. Last 6, there's been a dramatic turnaround, 13 touchdowns versus 5 interceptions, and over 300 yards a game passing.
2nd down, 5 yards to go. Have to get to the 46. Riley decides to take off, calling his own number there and going nowhere. And now Edmonton will bring out its kick team.
And there's the discipline that you have to have in terms of maintaining those rush lanes. A big defensive tackle, Zach Anderson, aware of Riley's ability as a running quarterback.
Zach Anderson from Sault Ste. Marie Michigan. Played his college ball at Northern Michigan. Tackle for a loss there, 3rd down. Another high floating kick from Bradshaw. And Javon Johnson is smothered near the 20-yard line. Justin Goulds known to take off with the football. Might we see more of that? 8 touchdowns already this season. Right now, his team down 17-zip.
Here's a challenge for you. Head to the oil sands, where you'll find lots of oil. But it's mixed with more sand than a desert, hardened at times as solid as a hockey puck, locked between multiple layers of thick rock, compressed by as much as 100 stories of earth, and sealed with a dense, sprawling forest. Then, try getting just the oil out. Learn how Synovus is taking on the oil sands challenges at risingtothechallenges.com.
You are a business pro, ruler of the rule book, keeper of composure. When push comes to shove, you never give an inch. And you rent from National, because only National lets you choose any car in the aisle and go. You can even take a full size or above and still pay the mid-size price. Touchdown. Good call, business pro. Good call. Go National. Go like a pro.
Before I switched my team to Rogers, getting through to our communications provider wasn't easy.
Your call is important to us. Your estimated wait time is 15 minutes.
Only Rogers has Live Agent, so I can speak with a small business specialist right away. By phone, in store, or online.
Hi, this is Dave, your Rogers Small Business Specialist.
Get back to business faster with Rogers Live Agent. Switch today and get double the data.
Doubleheader Saturday here on the CFL on TSN. Coming up, Eastern leaders, the Toronto Argonauts at Mosaic to take on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Trying to bounce back from their loss last week against these Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Bring their offense back on the field. Long field again for Justin Goulds. Will Ford finds room, and Ford finds a 1st down. Will Ford, South Carolina State, only had 28 carries for 76 yards before this game.
And Ford gets a good block as he breaks out to the left side from the slot back. Terrence Edwards, number 82. Here he gets around the corner. Pomperoon seals the corner. Terrence Edwards on Chris Thompson.
Quick one, far side. There's Rory Colehurt. Colehurt back in the Winnipeg lineup. Missed a game a couple of games ago. The hamstring pull.
Well, Rod, we want to go back one play here. Take a look at Eskimos linebacker J.C. Sherritt. First game back off the injured list. He's got that little playing cast on his left wrist.
Like
came up holding that wrist, yeah, after landing hard on the turf on the previous play.
And broke his thumb. Missed the last 4 Eskimo games. Goulds with the option. Penalty flags are flying everywhere. 2nd down and short. Well, that's one thing that you can never count on, no matter what's happening with your team in the CFL.
Edmonton number 91. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
His injuries, especially at this crucial time of the season. J.C. Sherritt already has been missing, and it's like he's grimacing here. Last year, the CFL Defensive Player of the Year set a tackles record with 130.
Well, he's played most of his snaps today at the will linebacker spot, kind of bumping Damaso Munoz from that spot as they want to keep Rennie Curran at middle linebacker. They quite like him there.
Goulds goes over the top. What a knockdown from T.J. Hill. Looking for Clarence Denmark again.
Denmark well covered on the play by T.J. Hill. Strong side linebackers. You see Sherritt back in. Munoz heading to the sidelines. No doubt a tough decision for the Edmonton Eskimos as Munoz came into this week tied for 3rd in the Canadian Football League in tackles from his will linebacker position and has emerged as a leader for them defensively.
Second down, throwing down. Golds decides to go. Bad choice. What a game so far for the Eskimos defense. Rennie Curran, who is the guy who was kind of shuffled out. J.C. Sherritt coming in. Curran, a former NFLer, comes up big here.
Well, they had the right blitz on at the right time. Rennie Curran is going to step right into that gap. Looping around and happens to be going right where Justin Golds is trying to get to on the draw. If everybody's just rushing straight upfield on the play, Golds might still be running.
Saw that big inhale from Justin Golds. That's the story so far. Blue Bombers shut out. Here's the newcomer again. Jamal Miles trying to find the outside. Brandon Stewart coaching Mwamba. Stewart saves him from running into the siding. Tough one so far for Justin Golds. And the blue and gold, the green and gold, lead by 17.
Shop at Safeway to play Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to Win. Get a bonus entry when you buy any participating product, including Old Dutch Restaurante or Arriba tortilla chips. Shop and play at Safeway.
For 185 years, Irwin has been making professional tools for professional tradesmen. Today, Irwin Tools salutes those who build this nation with their bare hands. Join Irwin in celebrating National Tradesman Day to say thanks for a job well done.
What do you want to get done today? Want to take the loader off? Bing, bang, boom. Need to connect a mower deck? Oh, look, you just did. The One Family Subcompact Tractor with dozens of attachments, only from John Deere. Now, how can you top that tomorrow? That's how we run, and nothing runs like a Deere. See common sense innovation at work with the One Family Tractors at johndeere.com/howwerun.
Online shopping. Soon it will be the way many of us shop for just about everything. And that's where we come in. Canada Post delivers more parcels to Canadians than anyone else. Canada Post, delivering the online world.
There's beleaguered right guard Simeon Rotier, former #1 draft pick. And there's Ed Hervey, the general manager, who a couple of weeks ago said he wouldn't mind, or words to that effect, if Simeon Rotier ever plays again. Very harsh criticism of the O-line and Simeon Rotier at the time. Rotier was benched last week, comes back into the lineup this week, and he leads that path on the right side. Simeon Rotier, when we chatted with him yesterday, handled it like a pro.
I was already just frustrated with how the game went and on Labor Day Monday, and so you know, there's definitely some accountability there. We both want to win and want this team to succeed, and they expect more out of me, and that's what I expect too. They believe in me, and coaches and my teammates and the GM too.
Well, one of the reasons that Simeon Rotier was called out was the lack of protection around Mike Riley in that loss to Calgary 2 weeks ago. This time, Rotier and company afford enough time so Riley gets out of the pocket.
Yeah, Rotier stays on his man, Zach Anderson, on this play, eventually pinning him to the inside, creating an opportunity for his quarterback to scramble upfield.
Very spiritual young man, Simeon Rotier, in his 5th season. Former Hamilton Tiger Cat. Hugh Charles now. But that would have to test you. Players often get criticized, but not in an open public forum the way that was handled. CFL did not fine Ed Hervey. The CFLPA wanted the CFL to do that because of what they thought was inappropriate criticism of a player.
Simeon Routier looks like he's brought that A game today, but as you said, Simeon Routier handled it like a professional. Got the message without getting his feelings too hurt.
Riley, quick one, but Fred Stamps wasn't looking. But further to that, though, we had a chance to chat with Ed Hervey before the game, and you get an idea. And maybe Ed Hervey would probably like to handle that a little bit differently, the way it all came out. But this is what Ed Hervey wants. He wants his players to be accountable. He said he's going to try to rebuild this team. They're going to be patient here. And he doesn't mind offending anybody. The key here is to start winning.
Yeah, exactly. Ed Hervey and Kavis Reed as well. What they want is to restore what they would call the Eskimo way of doing things. Of this being one of the flagship franchises that other teams model themselves after.
There's a little backspin. Here comes Hugh O'Neill, and no yards call there, but Simeon Routier is back 1 week after the benching. And the message was sent, delivered. So far, so good for Simeon and the Eskimos.
Every day, millions of local heroes are joining forces. Millions of dollars are infiltrating Canadian neighborhoods, and CO2 emissions are being obliterated. It's a veritable phenomenon of responsible consumption. While the effects of these two heroes' encounter will be vast, their purpose is singular, and it's clear. It's a great deal on a vacuum cleaner. Kijiji. You can feel good about it.
This is our Autobahn, our formula track, our oval. They can have the asphalt. We'll take everything else. Own the off-road with the Gator that's right for you. See them in action at johndeere.com/Gator. Hurry in to get $500 off select Gator utility vehicles at your John Deere dealer.
We brought 4 new flavors of Mountain Dew to Canada, and your votes decided which one would stay. Now, only one will be saved. Introducing the official new Dew flavor chosen by you. Voltage, the exhilarating taste of Dew charged with ginseng and raspberry citrus. Taste the winner, now in bottles and cans.
You can watch your favorite heroes save the world in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a new series Tuesday, September 24th on CTV. Well, so far, a lot of those numbers have been the superheroes for the Eskimos in this game. 17-0, midway through the second quarter. Blue Bombers trying to get it unglued here. Justin Goltz is going to run again. Here come the Eskimos, and once again tracking him down. Tomaso Munoz, and Goltz comes up limping. Gets back to the huddle. Only picked up a couple yards there.
It's a great effort play by Tomaso Munoz, who came from the other side of the formation to make that tackle on a scrambling Justin Goltz.
Munoz, a former star at Rutgers. Turnovers have been the bane for Winnipeg. 14 points, 2 turnovers, fumble, interception. Eskimos make them pay. There's another first down, and at least the spot looks like it from here for Clarence Denmark. So far, Justin Goltz has not gone to Aaron Kelly, and since Kelly came over to Winnipeg, he's been one of his favorite targets. He hasn't gone to number 19, even looked his way yet.
No, they haven't really attacked the outside in their passing game, but Aaron Kelly has proven thus far to be a very astute pickup for acting general manager Kyle Walters. Kelly, 115 yards on 7 catches in his first 2 games with the blue and gold. Gives them a big receiver that they've lacked with Chris Matthews injured.
1st and 10. Little wing formation. Goltz again. Here's the rush. And just tosses it away. Will Ford was his outlet, but Munoz was right on him. Well, we might see 18 connect with 19 soon because Justin Goulds loves the makeup of Aaron Kelly.
He had done some things throughout practice that were like, all right, this guy knows his stuff, and let's get the balls in his hand, and he'll be, you know, a solid go-to guy. He's absolutely been a playmaker out there for us, and as a quarterback, there's nothing better than having a guy, a go-to guy, you know, will make plays for you. And the past 2 weeks, he's done nothing but that. If the ball's gone his way, he's made some plays, so you couldn't ask for anything more from the guy.
Goulds looks his way, and then he goes down. Mashed is Justin Goulds. And Damaso Munoz, immediate penetration in that front line, gets to Justin Goulds.
Well, Damaso Munoz wanted to make sure he stays a central figure in this defense for the Edmonton Eskimos. Times this up. He's free off the edge as the back. Will Ford's got to block the inside gap.
Odell Willis as well. Now look at this. Change their formation around. And Renault still boots it away. Fresh face, Jamal Miles. Like a no yards there for a moment, but don't see any flag. He goes backwards down near the 15-yard line with under 5 minutes to go before halftime. Jamal Miles set all kinds of records at Arizona State when he was there, and he's the newest in the long line now of Edmonton Eskimo returners that they've been auditioning.
Yeah, they've been through a number of them for one of those teams, I would say, along with the Montreal Alouettes. There used to be a time both these two teams always had dominant return men. Some of the name guys, and obviously it dates back to the days of Gizmo Williams here in Edmonton. But it's been a couple of years of searching for a permanent return man.
Deontay Purvis was the latest casualty. Now Riley hit hard, and again flung out of bounds. It was one of those panic passes, but Riley was getting bared down on.
Alex Hall, whether he's getting the sack or just creating pressure, hurries, hits on the quarterback, all those things that eventually lead to mistakes. Alex Hall is one of those guys, an impact player on defense.
Blue Bombers coming in. 38 sacks. First in the CFL. Riley going deep for Fred. Stamps in coverage. And this ball overthrown, and again, Riley gets knocked on his can. So it'll be third down, and the Eskimos will bring out Grant Shaw once again.
And you see Mike Riley talking to the official on the way off, and the thing he's concerned with here is a hit down low to his knee. What you're going to see on the inside is a loop. I think it was Zach Anderson who ended up looping to the outside on this particular stunt, and he ends up coming in low on Riley. We always talk about that strike zone with hitting quarterbacks. You've got to be above the knees, below the shoulders.
Shaw needs a big kick. It was almost blocked. There he goes. Javon Johnson has running room. Javon Johnson, we used to do this a lot as the return man for the Blue Bombers. Not as much anymore with Devon Washington coming over. And of course, Johnson used so much defensively, former defensive player of the year, but a 19-yard return, something the Blue Bombers need right now. Good field position.
Well, and you're seeing in this game, maybe the solution for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is so many teams don't want to have a guy who's a starter on offense or defense as their primary returner, but if he's the best guy, you got to use him. Maybe the solution for Winnipeg is to let their two starters on the boundary side of their secondary, Washington and Johnson, share those duties.
Exactly what they're doing. Goulds, a handoff following that right gap. Will Ford again, 5 yards. It'll be second down and 5. Clock ticking down. 3-minute warning is signaled to both sidelines before we head to halftime. The Eskimos own a 17-0 lead.
McDonald's introduces the Veggie Signature McWrap. Packed with so much flavor, you'll be surprised you're enjoying vegetables. Enjoy 50% off from September 18th to 21st.
New chocolate-flavored crisps from Special K. 2 delicious crisps for 100 calories. So you'll never have to break up with your sweet tooth again. New chocolate-flavored crisps from Special K.
Have you put your retirement plan on pause? Now you can hit play. Enjoy the kind of retirement you've always wanted with a 5% annual cash flow guaranteed for 20 years with our new G520 series from CI Investments. Ask your financial advisor about the new G520 series from CI and take your retirement off pause. CI, Canada's investment company.
This is our league, and today we salute the beard. Hector Pache had one of the greatest beards in the Canadian Football League, but I even think Heck knows that he is outclassed by young hunter Hugh O'Neill.
Well, you know, maybe everybody in their time in Edmonton at some point has to sport a beard. Matt Dunnigan did it.
Oh, and then you know, so maybe our studio guys can get into it. Oh, Jocko looks pretty good in that. Oh, look at Milt. I don't know what you call that. It's different. Oh, Lapo.
Lapo's pulling it off.
Yeah. And then Dave Randorf. That's what happens when he grows a beard. Yeah, that's good. It's a good one. Oh, there's Dwayne. You got the good one going.
Well, it's a little gray. I know.
That's okay. Oh, that's. I'm not sure that. Well, that's James Harden, I think. That's pretty sad. That this is our league. And kicker Hugh O'Neill. That beard is feared. Goltz, sideline jump ball, and there it is. Out in the corner to Aaron Kelly.
And this is exactly why you love Aaron Kelly. He's the guy that can bail you out when you make a bit of a mistake.
Tim Burke talked about it yesterday. He loves him out there because he's one of those guys in coverage that can out-jump players.
Yeah, and he will always go up and fight for the contested jump ball. Here going over top of the corner, Joe Burnett.
Beard didn't like that one. Great beard, though. Inside the red zone now. This is where the Bombers have been more efficient than any other team in the league, which is hard to believe. They don't score many points, but they have the best percentage for scoring touchdowns inside the 20-yard line. And a lot of it has had to do with Justin Goltz.
Yeah, they often call Goltz's number when they get down in this territory, whether it's the quarterback draw, as you just saw, or frequently quarterback boot around the end.
Well, this is normally, well, more so around the 5-yard line. This is probably where Goltz is going to air it out, but he loves that boot around the 5-yard line. The Bombers can get inside the 5 and get a fresh set of downs. But they're down 17. Chance to punch one in. Goltz up in the air and almost caught a tip drill. Almost went from Aaron Kelly to Terrence Edwards. Terrence Edwards probably felt that he had a good chance at that.
Goltz tries to get this one in tight. Kelly's the outside man. Edwards, number 2 receiver on that side. 2 defenders arrive at the ball, creating the deflection. It looked like Edwards had a clean shot at that one. Just unable to haul it in.
That would have been a first down. Instead, the Blue Bombers, 77% touchdown tries in the red zone. Will not get one this time. They'll settle for a field goal attempt from Sandro DeAngelis. It's 4 of 5 since coming into the Bomber fold, replacing Justin Pilardi. DeAngelis, who has one of the best percentages in the history of the CFL, puts it through, and the Bombers are on the board under 2 minutes to go before halftime. Speaking of which, GMC live at the half, clean shaven. Dave Randorf, Jacques Clamy, Milt Stiegel, and Schultze, and Coach Paul LaPolice. We'll talk about the Edmonton Eskimos and what they've been doing in this first half so far. Beneficiaries of a couple of costly Winnipeg miscues early on.
Well, the story of the Blue Bombers season.
Mike Riley is back.
4.
2-minute drill here for the Eskimo quarterback. And once again, Adarius Bowman goes forward, then upended by Alex Suber. It's his 5th catch. Had 5 last week in his first start in a long time.
Well, the plan for the Edmonton Eskimos and Adarius Bowman was to ease the big receiver back into the lineup, limited reps. Last week is what was expected, but when Kerry Koch got injured, he got pressed into more full-time duty. It proved to be a little bit of a blessing, allowed him to get his confidence back with contact on that knee.
There goes Riley. Mike Riley takes off. Riley to the 40-foot race downfield and brought down at the 35-yard line. Well, Mike Riley, throughout the CFL, is 3rd in 10-plus yard carries. Here is another one, and the other guys are all running backs.
And this opened up wide as the only second-level defender, Enoch Mwamba, ended up getting pulled to the right with the play action to Hugh Charles. And that leaves Mike Riley all alone with his former teammate, the free safety, Koshi Mwamba. Riley just ran around him to pick up about 20 more yards.
Big play guy. Riley, team marching. End zone. Fred Stamps is open. Easy. Touchdown. What a throw from Mike Riley. Usually Fred Stamps has to come up with some highlight reel stuff. Not necessary this time.
Well, Fred Stamps, 2nd touchdown of the game, but I tell you, if you're an Edmonton Eskimo fan, you gotta love the guy pulling the trigger on this one. Mike Riley, after the big run to set this up, stands in there and delivers a dime to his favorite receiver. You know, I felt for a few weeks, as you've seen the compete factor in this Edmonton Eskimos team, a lot of close battles against some good football clubs. The tenaciousness of their quarterback is starting to rub off a little bit on those around him.
Mike Riley, 3rd touchdown of this game, of this first half. 2 to Fred Stamps, 1 to Adarius Bowman. And this was picker perfect.
You see the touch on this ball from Riley to Stamps.
Mike Riley loves it. So do his folks. His dad, Pat. His mom, Rhonda. His girlfriend's here. They're wearing 13. His mom and dad drive to every Eskimo home game, 8.5 hours from Kalispell, Montana. Long trek. They're enjoying it today.
Well, Mike's making it worth their while today. On pace for another 300-plus yard outing.
Now those number 13 jerseys are starting to sell a lot here. Guy who grew up idolizing Dan Marino, that's why he wears number 13. Tough number to wear for some players, some athletes, but that 13 superstition has gone by the wayside through the years, as we've seen so many 13s excel. This one is excelling today. And Pops is doing a little texting right now. That's 3 TDs. That's his girlfriend, Emily. In for the game.
All smiles up there right now.
Mike Riley, his journey is not the path that a lot of quarterbacks take to professional football, but hard knocks. He's made it work. And speaking of hard knocks, toppled again is Goltz. Marcus Howard lowers the boom.
Well, Marcus Howard just took the left tackle, Shannon Boatman, for a ride on this one. Iron Will driving back the offensive tackle until he got to the quarterback. 2 of them are matched up here at the bottom of the screen.
4 Edmonton sacks already. Blue Bombers second last in protecting their quarterback. Sacks allowed. Goltz, though, fires downfield, and about 5 yards short of the first down will be Clarence Denmark. So it's going to be third down with 34 seconds to go, and the Eskimos will get another chance to put some more points on the board.
Should be decent field position here for the Eskimos, coming out one more possession before the break. This Winnipeg team, you see the pressure that Edmonton is getting. Offensive line in a little bit of disarray. Glenn January hasn't returned, and you've got Shannon Boatman having to shift from the right side where he's played all year to having to play left tackle, so all of his footwork is going to be reversed. That can be a difficult switch for some. Tyson Pencer's making his first start. Now Mark Parenteau's in the lineup and playing in his first game as a Blue Bomber.
Jamal Miles scoots up near the 46-yard line. 23 seconds to go here, and for the Eskimos, obviously getting a lead is important into halftime. They've only had 2 leads. They're 1-1 with the lead at the half this season, but it's the kind of lead they have right now. 21-pointer.
An impressive first half for the Eskimos, and obviously their defense has been very good, but let's talk about this offense.
Riley, orchestra leader again. Sideline here. Nate Kuhorn has his first reception of the day. Former Calgary Dino. Wears number 85, his hero growing up. He's in our studio. We had a pretty good game here, I recall, one time. And
yeah, pretty good ending.
Winnipeg and Edmonton. The thing about these two teams, their last 10 times they've played, they've split evenly, 5-5. Their numbers remarkably similar. Two teams that have struggled, really, and certainly struggled this season. Play very close football. Riley hangs in, now decides to tuck it. Now we'll go back to the line of scrimmage, was going to throw it, and he's into the Winnipeg bench. 8.9 seconds to go. So this will set up third down, should be the last play of what has been almost a perfect first half for the Edmonton Eskimos in so many ways. Capitalizing on turnovers. Mike Riley, 89 yards in rushing.
Well, he's become a great dual threat quarterback, and I'm sure that that's a part of his game that not a lot of people knew that he possessed. Didn't realize how athletic he was. It's been in part out of necessity in the early portion of this season with an offensive line that's gone through some growing pains. But Riley, a guy who's just willing to do whatever it takes to give his team a chance to win.
Grant Shaw's going to wait and then end over end it. Javon Johnson out of bounds with 1 second on the stadium clock. There still is 9/10 remaining here. So whether Justin Golds will throw up a Hail Mary, probably unlikely. This is a team right now that has to get in the locker room and sort this thing out.
Yeah, I think you'll see Justin Golds take a knee, try to stop the bleeding here, and get his Blue Bombers into the room and try to regroup at halftime. Obviously 21 points, hardly an insurmountable lead with a half of football to play in the Canadian Football League. But when your offense shows so few signs of life, you have to be a little bit concerned.
As they did last week, they did come back and win and beat Saskatchewan, but not a lot of confidence right now. The Eskimos, though, brimming over with confidence. Much better for Caymus Reed. Mike Riley, outstanding. First half, 24-3, the Eskimos in front. Let's send it back to the studio. Here's Dave Randorf.
Thanks a lot, Rod. And Mike Riley, man, he continues to pile up the touchdown passes. He now has 19 on the season. 13 of those have come in the last 4.5 games. He's got 3 today. And his offense is creative. For more on that, let's send it in behind me for the GMC Coaches Playbook. Lapo is with Jock.
Thanks, Dave. And as people know, everybody thinks they're a coach, Jock, right? And my job's a lot harder than it sounds, but everybody, and Jock Climby's somebody who can, always thinks he can coach and everything, but he had a great observation. I wanted him to talk about what he saw earlier in the game.
Well, I'm just thrilled to be invited to Coach's Playbook. Hey, you talk about coaches and innovation. About 4 or 5 years ago, coaches did develop something new for the CFL, and that's where they allowed quarterbacks to call the cadence, motion the receivers up, they'll come to the line of scrimmage, and then they'd back off. They'd reset. You've seen the defense they've declared. Now you can audible out of it, and then you approach the line. And so I saw something new in this football game, which, of course, is trying to keep pace with this because defenses now are calling audibles of their own. So Edmonton comes to the line of scrimmage. You see all the receivers up. They back off as if to back off because Winnipeg starts their audibling themselves on defense to try to stay one step ahead. And what does Edmonton do? They go with a quick snap. There's about 3 or 4 guys who are standing around audibling and looking at each other, and Edmonton quickly tosses the football.
Yeah, and if you watch what he's doing, Mike Riley did that so he could check to see if there's anybody in the alley. Then they pull the guard and the tackle, and what that does is the D linemen are going to chase the lineman. You flip it out to nobody because they got no alley player. Easy 10-yard gain. Great misdirection, I believe, Jock, by the Edmonton team.
Well, it's double misdirection, right? You got guys audibling, and you got guys chasing linemen where the ball is not going. And, Doug Sams came on fire last week from a couple of weeks ago from Ed Hervey. He's the offensive coordinator in Edmonton. He is doing some very innovative things offensively.
Yeah, it's great stuff. That's Coach's Playbook.
And then you don't have to be too creative to just throw to the top receiver in the league coming into week number 12. Fred Stamps, 2 touchdown catches today. He is 1 away from setting a new single-season career high. It's all Eskimos.
Does your lawn look like this? Shade spots, pet urine spots, or dry?
Live at the Half is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Back in the studios with Chris Schultz and Milt Stiegel and Jock Climby, 24-3 for the Edmonton Eskimos over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Want to take you back a couple of weeks for the Edmonton Eskimos. They lose to the Calgary Stampeders, giving up 7 sacks along the way. That's one of the things that prompts Ed Hervey to have that much publicized rant. He singles out Simeon Rotier. They bench him. They give up another 7 sacks against Calgary, and the whole offensive line seems to be in disarray, and it appears to be to be picked on today, yet Winnipeg has just 1 sack against Mike Riley.
Yeah, the Bombers lead the league in sacks, and I thought it was going to be a sack fest, and Mike Riley was going to get beaten up all over again. But, Mike Riley can play the game of football, but he can't play it from his back. And everybody's been saying, you know what? In fourth quarters, when the defenses are letting off because they're ahead so much, Mike Riley seems to shine. So we just wanted to see a game in the first half where the Edmonton Eskimos could actually protect them. This is the game. And I love when I see people rise and overcome adversity. And that's exactly what Doug Sams, offensive coordinator, has done. Simeon Rotier, benched and now back, and that whole offensive line, they are protecting him.
Yeah, they're protecting him. And speaking of Mike Riley, you got to give a lot of credit to this guy. And I know his record doesn't show it, but he's having an outstanding year. Outstanding year, not just because this is his first year as a starter. He's just having an outstanding year. Week in and week out, this guy gets pounded. He gets physically beat up, but he's finding a way to come back and make plays. If I'm an Edmonton Eskimo, I'm happy to have this guy on my team because he's tough. He's willing to stand in there and do whatever it takes for his team to win games, and that's what you got to love about this guy. If they were giving out a Toughest Player of the Year award, this would be my guy. Out of all the young guns we've talked about all this year, he is the best one because he's going through all the rough stuff right now. You got to be happy if you're an Eskimo.
You're right about that. Schultz, I want to ask you about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Is there such a thing as week-to-week momentum? Because I know it's the Banjo Bowl, and that's the kind of an entity alone amongst itself, but they look good against Saskatchewan last week. 8 sacks, holding Darian Durant and that offense down, and yet nothing this week. Well, and if so, where is the momentum?
I thought there was, but this game indicates there is no such thing as momentum from one week to another week, Dave. They have not shown any momentum at all.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not necessarily a great week here for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but you know what? We've been talking a lot about the third jerseys this season, right? And the Hamilton Ticats sent us their nice third jerseys, and we love the retro Bomber jerseys they were wearing last week in the Banjo Bowl. So look what they did. They sent us some of the sweet ones here. Schultz, here's one for you.
Thank you.
Okay, and here is there's one for me. That's really nice. I really appreciate it. These are very sweet. Jock, one for you. Climby, right there. And
wow.
Milt, I'm afraid. You know what? The problem here is, Milt, I think they're upset about what happened a couple of weeks ago. Remember when you made such a big deal out of putting the Lions jersey on?
That's my evil twin.
And
that is
you know what?
me.
They're going to be in the same division next year. A lot of Bomber fans were not happy with you. And you know what? I hate to say it, Mill, but check this out. Matt is in Regina right now. He's getting ready to do the game later tonight against the Argos. He's got one, too. He's got the one. He's getting ready. And it's 16. Matt, you got yours, too, right?
Goodness.
Matt?
Schultzy, Dave, Jock, loving my jersey, man. I know you guys got one. Looking sweet. Can't tell you how many good games I had in this jersey. Feels good. Feels natural.
Goodness, is this really happening?
Maddie, I never played for the Bombers.
Yeah,
and I got a jersey, too.
And I never got one either. I never played.
Is this really happening?
So
Can I cry on live TV? Because that's what's about to happen.
The Blue Bomber touchdown beagle. You know what?
Jeffrey Bannon, you know you're in for it, buddy. I'm telling you.
Thanks very much. These are real nice. Really appreciate these.
Deal,
right? These bad boys. We'll be wearing these. These are great, Milt. I can see why you like them so much. But on the field today, you know, the Bombers, they look a little bit better when they're wearing these things, because it's not going their way so far. It is 24-3. The Edmonton Eskimos in charge. Here's the third touchdown pass. Showed you the 2 by Stamps. Here is a Darius Bowman into the end zone.
Well, I love you, pretty baby, and I want you to know you set my soul on fire. You make me go this dance. Well, I can't control myself when we're out on the floor. You make me feel real good. I yell more this dance.
Grab a partner and start dancing. NHL 14 with the old school 94 anniversary mode. It's gonna light you up. Rated everyone 10 and up. EA Sports. It's in the game.
PlayStation. Does your lawn look like this? Shade spots, pet urine spots, are droughts and watering restrictions making it impossible to grow a beautiful lawn? Introducing the greatest innovation in the history of lawn care, cutting-edge grass seed, available from Harvest Garden, to give you a lawn that grows faster, thicker, and fuller, guaranteed. Like this lawn that sustained a drought and wasn't watered in 5 months. And this shady area that never grew grass and now is green and perfect. And this pet urine spot that regenerated in only a few short weeks. The difference is other lawns have roots that only grow 3 to 4 inches down and constantly need watering, fertilizing, and mowing. Cutting-edge grass seed grows roots up to 48 inches deep to find the water and help your lawn thrive in dry conditions and grow upward to a dwarf height. So once established, you can stop constantly watering, stop constantly fertilizing, and stop constantly mowing. To prove it, we planted cutting-edge grass seed next to ordinary grass. Just look at the difference. And on this lawn, we covered half with cutting-edge grass seed. The other half is dead. Unbelievable. And it's not only drought tolerant and shade tolerant, but it's weed resistant, insect resistant, and disease resistant, guaranteed. Just look at this beautiful lawn in California. It hasn't been mowed in 93 days. And with cutting edge grass seed, you'll see early growth in as quickly as 1 week. So whether you want to treat those hard to grow areas or seed over your entire existing lawn for that gorgeous green you're looking for, cutting edge grass seed is heralded by publications and universities all over North America. And now, for the first time, our 1-pound bag of cutting edge grass seed is available to you at home for this limited time offer of only $19.95. That's large enough for over 250 square feet of lush, healthy grass. You can save that in 1 month, but when you call today, we'll double the offer.
Just pay separate shipping and handling.
500 square feet of cutting-edge grass seed for only $19.95 for the best yard on your block. Call or log on now.
To order cutting-edge grass seed, please call 1-800-862-9916 or order online at getcuttingedge.ca.
Welcome back. Milt, are you still pouting, or can you go over the halftime?
I got this, Dave. Let's give some credit to the Winnipeg offense. Last week they had, 0 first downs in the first half? They have 5 now, so let's see if they can increase that in the second half. They may make a comeback. We have our new jerseys. We're suiting up, Doc. Let's go, Dave. Let's go.
You are sucking up now, Mr. Stiegel. Here is Kavis Reed with Sarah Orleski.
Kavis, when you look at Mike Riley, obviously a quarterback that has a strong arm but can also use his feet well as well. In your mind, what is his greatest strength?
He's a smart football player. He's very cerebral. He allows the game to come to him. He doesn't force things. He's making great decisions. He's not turning the ball over, and that's the reason why we always have an opportunity with him.
You take the big lead into the second half, and this is only the second time this season, first time since week 2, that this team is leading at the half. What does that do for this group?
This is a very confident group in the fact that they know that if we execute football, we're able to finish football games off and we're able to score points. We're doing a good job on all 3 phases, and we need to continue that because Winnipeg is not a team that's going to roll over.
Thank you, Kavis.
Thank you.
Second half coming up. All right, let's set this right. So this is the longest commercial break we've ever had at the CFL on TSN. A lot of pouting from Milt. Let's fix this.
Crying like a little baby
Let's
over
fix this now. Now you got to put this on, and they will never put it on and make things all right again in Bomberland. Okay? And make everybody happy, and don't be wearing any BC Lions jerseys anymore because they didn't appreciate it.
I think he's learned his
There you go. There you go. Now turn around, give us a quick one. Turn around. That's what it should look like. Here is Natasha with a Sports Center update. Natasha?
Nice looking jerseys there, Dave. Yes, on to the Davis Cup we go after an amazing 5-set thriller yesterday between Janko Tipsarevic and Milos Raonic. It was time for some doubles action of the semifinal. Daniel Nestor and Vasek Pospisil tied 8-8 in the 5th set against Serbia's Nenad Zimanic and Ilya Bozoyets. Pospisil with the beauty forehand winner. They'd go on to earn the break. And then Canada serving on match point. Nestor seals it with the volley. Canada takes it in 5 sets to take a 2-1 lead in the best of 5 over Serbia. Orioles and Blue Jays, 7th inning, 3-2 Baltimore when Colby Rasmus sends a shot out to deep right. That's his 20th home run of the season. Jays take it 4-3. And the next edition of Sports Center follows our football doubleheader. We'll see you at 12:30 Eastern.
On September 17th, how scared are you? I'm scared. Only extended cut with intense new footage, not shown in theaters. Brad Pitt, World War Z, on it on Blu-ray Combo Pack September 17th.
All right, Fred, let's check out some film. Now that's good. We need more of that.
Yeah, that looks really good.
You bet, that's great. Lots of options, lots of choices.
Whoa, sweet.
That's awesome.
Yo, Coach, I think we need to wrap this up.
Wrap it up? What are you, a comedian now?
You know what, Coach? I think I'm going to get that wrap. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Humpty's has an amazing selection of great food. Get your appetite on at Humpty's. I know I do.
All right, here it is straight up. Ford F-Series is the #1 brand of trucks Canadians trust to take on the toughest jobs. Construction, farming, forestry, mining, heavy hauling, you name it. So, no wonder F-Series is also the best-selling brand of trucks in Canada for 47 years in a row. No matter what you're doing, these are the trucks that Canadians who do the hardest work depend on. Canada's #1 trucks for 47 years straight. Ford F-150, Ford Super Duty. Own it, baby.
Back at Commonwealth Stadium where the Eskimos have a 24-3 lead over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Their head coach, Tim Burke, is with Sarah Orleski.
In the second consecutive week that this offense has really struggled to get going. Does Justin Gold start the second half?
No, we're going to go with Max Hall in the second half.
And what are you hoping that Max can do that Justin wasn't able to?
Well, you know, just obviously get this offense going, you know, maybe provide a spark because we just didn't have anything in the first half.
Thanks so much, Tim.
You bet.
Okay, so Max Hall, it's your turn. Did get a couple starts a few weeks ago before Justin Golds retook the reins. So Max Hall, you see the numbers. He's going to have to increase those numbers if the Blue Bombers have a shot here, down 3 converted touchdowns. Bombers didn't help themselves in that first half. Turnovers, 2 of them, sacked a number of times. Their offense had no continuity. Will Ford up near the 27-yard line, and here comes Max Hall.
And Hall forced out of the lineup early in his last start against Hamilton. He replaces Golds, who was 5 of 10 for just 54 yards through the air in the first half of this ball game. Only 8 completions last week against Saskatchewan as well. 5 carries for 26 yards for Will Ford on the ground. Clarence Denmark, the leading receiver, with just 19 yards for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Former BYU quarterback, played in the NFL back in 2010 with the Arizona Cardinals, was a starter for a short period. Loads of confidence. They're going to need that now. Pierre Pombriand, fullback, out of the backfield. Barrels up near the 31-yard line.
A quick hitter for Max Hall to let him get his feet wet in this football game. Still a 2nd and 6 situation for the Bombers. passing situation. Hall doesn't necessarily possess the same mobility or scrambling ability as you'll see from Justin Goltz. A little more likely to stand in the pocket longer and look to make a play in this situation.
Sends out 5 receivers. Hall then right over the top. Quickly brought in by Rory Colhart, the former star with the Saskatchewan Huskies. And he gathers it in, will quickly move the sticks already. That is a positive for this Bomber offense that barely had a first down in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Max Hall gets pretty good protection here. Steps up and throws that strike to a crossing Rory Colhart. You know, and it sounds like from Tim Burke's interview with Sarah, it wasn't anything specific that Justin Goltz did in the first half, but just trying anything to shake things up and get this offense moving.
Need a spark of some sort, and mostly need to get those defensive ends off of the Bomber jerseys, because there were 4 sacks as well from those rush ends in that first half. There's Marcel Belfait, former Hamilton Tiger Hat head coach, offensive coordinator till the end of the season in Winnipeg.
Belfait's name will be one of those that you may hear linked to the Ottawa Red Blacks job, former head coach at the University of Ottawa with the Gee-Gees.
Second down and 8. Hall is hit again, and these Bomber quarterbacks are taking some punishment. Another jolt. Max Hall absorbs the same punishment that Justin Goltz was taking. It wasn't a sack, but now it's third down.
Marcus Howard seems to have found his groove in recent weeks. He's the guy, he's going to come from the bottom of that line, working against Shannon Bodeman. They try to chip off, but too much of a chip there is absolutely no help as it just drives the rusher inside the offensive tackle, throws off his blocking angle.
Another category where the Blue Bombers lead. Category you don't want to lead. Most punts in the league. Mike Renault's been busy this season. Jamal Miles, it's a flag down. Enoch Mwamba downfield on special teams brings him down. We'll sort the flag out when we come back. 24-3. Mike Riley brings his offense back on the field after an electrifying, explosive first half.
Online shopping. Soon it will be the way many of us shop for just about everything. And that's where we come in. Canada Post delivers more parcels to Canadians than anyone else. Canada Post, delivering the online world.
What do you want to get done today? Want to take the loader off? Bing, bang, boom. Need to connect a mower deck? Oh, look, you just did. The one family subcompact tractor with dozens of attachments, only from John Deere. Now, how can you top that tomorrow? That's how we run, and nothing runs like a Deere. See common sense innovation at work with the one family tractors at johndeere.com/howwerun.
From morning walk to cappuccino froth, porch swing to downtown, it's all yours. You know it's rhythm and blues, and it knows your deep secret. That even when your wandering heart takes off, it never leaves home, sweet home. There's a deep, rich, enduring color for everything, including where you come from. Benjamin Moore, for everything that matters.
Outstanding first half of football for Mike Riley.
The Eskimo quarterback, 300-plus yard passing games already this season. Looking for number 4, 3 touchdown passes in the ball game, 2 to Fred Stamps, 1 to Adarius Bowman. He's got this offense clicking today.
Guy who grew up in Washington, state of Washington, Kennewick, and then high school years moved to Montana, was going to go to college in Montana, but there was a guy around named Travis Lulay, ended up going to Central Washington. and played behind a couple starters before he took the job.
Well, and Riley taking the job here in Edmonton this season, doing very well today. 12 of 18 in the first half, 167 yards, as we mentioned, 3 touchdowns and 88 yards on the ground as well. He's their leading rusher. Hugh Charles back in the lineup with 43 yards from scrimmage. And great to have a Darius Bowman back at full speed. 84 yards through the air and a touchdown catch for him in the opening 30.
Blue Bombers are going to have to hope their defense can force some turnovers. Their offense not doing it right now, and a big hit on the far side. Nate Kuhorn is down and hurt after getting knocked down by Brandon Stewart. Spot is short of a first down. Kuhorn is up and he's all right.
Tough kid Nate Kuhorn got absolutely drilled in the back on this one by Brandon Stewart, but still held on to the football. See him get folded in half by Stewart.
Part of that great receiver class. 5th overall by the Eskimos. 2011. Bombers force a quick 2-and-out here. And very close to having that blocked was Grant Shaw. Ball bounces. That was almost a disaster there for DeLon Washington, who played hot potato with it. Max Hall back at the helm when we come back.
Goodyear knows there are times when you need to get out at a moment's notice. When a map can't tell you where you need to go. And you need to get there on road or off. That's why everything we learn making tires for expert drivers inspires what we roll into the new Goodyear Wrangler with Kevlar. Goodyear, more driven.
Distraction noodle.
What?
Online shopping. Soon it will be the way many of us shop for just about everything. And that's where we come in. Canada Post delivers more parcels to Canadians than anyone else. Canada Post, delivering the online world.
There's our Purolator sack attack. The Edmonton Eskimos making some hay here so far today. The Blue Bombers are coming off an 8-sack performance against the Rough Riders. Just 1 quarterback dropping.
Well, 1 for Winnipeg today, but 4 for the Edmonton Eskimos. We're all over Justin Goltz in the first half. If the first possession's any indication, showing no signs of easing up on Max Hall here in the second. Meanwhile, Chris Robacomba just getting back to his feet after that last punt cover for the Edmonton Eskimos. You'll see him right along the sidelines, blocked by Brandon Stewart. Keep an eye on the left knee as his own player is coming in. Keep an eye on the player coming in right beside him in the left knee. Gets tweaked to the inside there. We certainly hope Robacomba's okay.
Max Hall, play action, rolls, sideline, double coverage. Looks like it was picked. Was it? No! Terrence Edwards stole that one. Chris Thompson looked like he had the interception.
Well, 2 great veterans battling over there for the football. A risky throw from Max Hall, but Terrence Edwards.
Look at that. Thompson has it. And on the way down,
Edwards steals it.
Pilfered it. Wow.
Great effort there from Terrence Edwards.
Thompson almost had his 3rd pick of the season. He's had 28 career interceptions. He's been such a ball hawk in his entire CFL career, one of the very best. Edmonton and Hamilton. Max Hall shotgun. Will Ford stays into block. Colehart now on a little bit of a slant, quick hitter. He piles forward, but half the first down yardage. Well, one thing that Terrence Edwards, you can be assured of, is that under normal circumstances, usually a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, one of the most consistent receivers in the Canadian Football League, just missing 2009, 5 of the last 6 years there. He's missed 2 games this year. Came into the game leading the Bombers with 339 receiving yards. 25th in the Canadian Football League, which would be the lowest rank of any team leader in the league.
Hall again, quick drop, and there he is. On cue, Terrence Edwards will need to pile up some yardage if he wants to get close to that 1,000-yard barrier, but that's not even on his mind right now. What's on his mind is trying to get Winnipeg back-to-back wins for the first time in 2 years.
And Terrence Edwards with that out route. Primary receiver on that one for Max Hall. Hall looking at him all the way. And to lean on his veteran a little bit.
Here's where the Bombers have done so well this season. Red zone again. Failed earlier. Not a field goal, but 77% touchdowns in this zone. Hall, end zone, and juggling act. And once again, he threw into double coverage, but he took a hit as he unloaded that football.
Max Hall has dodged a couple of bullets throwing into coverage here since coming into this football game to start the 3rd quarter. The pressure's on him. 6 Edmonton rushers. J.C. Sherritt there with a hit just as the ball is thrown. On the other end, Rory Colehart with that post route. But Eric Samuels comes underneath to make a play on it, very nearly coming up with the interception. Samuels in for the injured Chris Robocamba.
Hall, the rush, post pattern, and it is picked this time by Chris Thompson, who takes it away. Thompson still on his feet and up near the 29-yard line. Well, he had one that he thought he had. This time he does have it. Thompson's career interception, 29.
Shop at Safeway, swipe your club card, and play. Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to Win. If your name appears here, you've won a trip for 2 to Mexico, courtesy of redtag.ca, where Canada shops for great travel deals. Shop and play at Safeway.
Some people say I'm stuck in the past, but I'm just keeping the good times rolling. All I know is, when you want things to last, you gotta maintain.
Hey, Jerry! So why don't you turn me loose? Turn me loose!
Keep that new car feeling longer. Top to bottom maintenance from Mr. Lube. Come find out why more Canadians trust Mr. Lube's trained technicians with their oil changes than any other quick lube. We're #1 for a reason. Take good care.
Did you know that over 340,000 children and youth rely on Canadian food banks every month? Let's help keep their lunch boxes full. Go to PurelatorTackleHunger.com to find out how you can get involved. Purelator Tackle Hunger.
At GoDaddy, we love to help small businesses.
And one of the best ways is with GoDaddy's website builder.
You can build a custom website in minutes.
GoDaddy Website Builder. Get online
And never miss a customer. Get your domain name and website
at GoDaddy.com.
Chris Thompson, we just talked about him, one of the best ball hawks in recent years in the Canadian Football League. Now Thompson's sitting on the inside on this one. The intended receiver is Rory Colehart, who's going to the corner. But Thompson just leaves his man, drops off, and has all kinds of time to get to that hanging football. There's a penalty on the return. J.C. Sherritt hit Corey Watson, number 81, right between the shoulder blades right there. No doubt about that call, so it's going to bring it back a little bit. But nonetheless, a turnover. And Max Hall, we saw a couple times on that drive, throwing what I would call ill-advised passes into heavy coverage, but feeling that pressure and trying to force passes a little bit, and that time he paid the price.
Chat with Marcel Belfay. Twice now, turnovers resulted in points by the Eskimos, touchdowns. Will they do it again? This one took points away, though. Bombers were threatening. Riley immediately goes downfield for a Darius Bowman. There's some moxie. Hey, quarterback comes on the field. Offensive coordinator right away after a turnover, go for the kill shot.
That's it. That sudden change. Eskimos try to take a shot there. See the end of that play at Darius Bowman. Riley got it into the hands, but Bowman unable to squeeze it.
Riley on the roll. Off balance. And that was almost picked by DeMond Washington. So the Bomber defense on the field a lot again. Still has not been able to force a turnover, but this time a turnover will not result in any Edmonton points.
Oh, big stand there from the Winnipeg defense. DeMond Washington has had a solid year at that boundary halfback spot, winning that battle against one of the elite receivers in the Canadian Football League, Freddie Stamps.
So now Grant Shaw sits 2 yards deep in his end zone. Hardly any wind here in this beautiful September day. He's going to boot it away from his 3-yard line. Bombers should get good field position. Uh-oh, look out. Maybe not. DeMond Washington, no yards, and will add 5 yards to that. So the Bombers will scrimmage at the 50. Let's go into the stands now and join Sarah Orleski with Mike Riley's biggest fan club.
You're right, Rod. I am with Mike Riley's biggest fan club right now. His parents, Pat and Rhonda, drive 9 hours to come up. They have not missed
9 hours if I drive. 8 hours if she drives.
Well, let's not get into that right now. But for you to come up here and to see him up here starting, why is it important for you to come up for every game?
You know, football's been a part of our family for forever and ever and ever. Ever since Mike was about 4 years old, he said, I want to be a pro football player. And I remember one time as a little kid, he came and said, can you help me get there? And I said, I can try. For him to reach his goal, there's no way we would miss, ever. Never.
And Rhonda, you and I were discussing earlier just Mike's style of play, and we saw him rush for almost 90 yards in that first alone. He's not one to utilize the hook slide too often, so I've got to ask, as a mom, what's it like seeing him out there playing that style of game?
It's hard. It is hard, and I've told him in privacy when we're home alone, I try to still tell him what he needs to do, and he just says, oh, really, Mom, really? But, you know, it's just how he's always played, and it's what he loves about the game. So we just have to support it and hope that everything comes out well at the end of the day.
Well, I know that you guys are enjoying this game right now. Also, his girlfriend Emily is here. It's her birthday, and I know nothing would make her happier than to see him get the win here tonight. Rod?
Yes, lucky number 13 so far, Mike Riley. Love hearing Mom's analysis of that. Mothers know best.
Yeah, well, when Mom's advice coincides with that coming from the guy beside him right now, Carrie Joseph, she's probably got it right.
Yeah. What an ideal situation in so many ways to have a former outstanding player in the league with you as well, helping mentor you. Will Ford tripped up there. You saw the first down earlier by the Blue Bombers, another rare one, but you know, you look at what it takes, the support system, you know, as a former CFLer, and family is so important to a player, and your coaches and the people that you surround yourselves with.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk all the time within a game about coaches putting players in position to succeed, but so often the being put in a position to succeed starts so much earlier, and it starts with a supportive family.
2nd and 12. Here's the rush again. Hall, far side. Some running room here, but Terrence Edwards is going to run out of room. And Max Hall just got pummeled. There's the fear of every quarterback's mom to watch their boy try to get up, and guess what? There's a flag back there, so this drive is going to stay alive.
Roughing the passer, Edmonton number 90, 15 yards at the end of the play. First down.
Mondo Sewell, who had an earlier sack on Justin Golds. Hall is banged up. He's going to stay in, though.
Well, it ends up that Max Hall kind of gets what you could call high load on this play, where Armando Sewell is the guy who ends up down. Falling, hits him below the knees as Marcus Howard comes from the other side, and he's going up high. Max Hall ends up taking a pretty good shot on his right knee as a result.
Winnipeg quarterbacks are going to need those ice bags for the trip home. Trying to get there with a W if they can somehow find a way to come back here. Numbers certainly do not favor the Blue Bombers right now. They are 0-6 when they trail after a third quarter this season.
Well, it's got to make Winnipeg fans stew inside a little bit to know, as they struggle to find an identity, struggle to find a starting quarterback, that the guy wearing green and gold lighting them up so far today
could have been
very easily could have been a Winnipeg Blue Bomber.
That has been the look for a lot of Blue Bomber and Eskimo fans this season. Two teams 3-17 coming in. Pitch and catch this time. Rory Colehurt. It's been the biggest target for the Blue Bombers. Bombers on track for another no-pointer in a third quarter.
I'll tell you, the biggest concern right now to Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they've got an offensive lineman injured. They only dressed 6 O-linemen for this game. Glenn January's already out. So you may see a backup defensive lineman like Jake Thomas having to line up at guard for the remainder of this ball game, depending on the severity of this injury.
So we'll step aside and come back to Commonwealth Stadium. The Bombers hurting in more ways than one.
Introducing new Budweiser Crown, crafted with fire-roasted caramel malt to create a golden amber lager with a rich, distinct flavor. New Budweiser Crown.
You are a business pro, ruler of the rulebook, keeper of composure. When push comes to shove, you never give an inch. And you rent from National. Because only National lets you choose any car in the aisle and go. You can even take a full size or above and still pay the mid-size price. Touchdown. Good call, business pro. Good call. Go National. Go like a pro.
TSN is the home of NFL Sunday Night Football, a Week 2 matchup. Colin Kaepernick, San Francisco 49ers in Seattle, taking on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Live coverage underway tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Happier night so far for the Edmonton Eskimo faithful. Blue Bombers lose another O-lineman here. A guy they just recently acquired, as a matter of fact, who came into this game because of a previous injury.
Mark Parenteau had been the 6th O-lineman, forced into action here in his first game back with Winnipeg. An injury to Glenn January in the first half.
Tim Burke's team, a horrible third quarter existence this season. 6 times, 10 games, no points. Could be another here. Max Hall throws sideline. Aaron Kelly, the intended target. Blue Bombers have not yet even looked the way of one of their most valuable targets in Corey Watson.
Well, Watson is the guy who was leading this team in yards per game receiving coming in. Not as many total receiving yards as Terrence Edwards, but had played fewer games. But you're absolutely right, having to pass in Watson's direction.
Quads left for Hall. Here comes the rush again. He goes over the top in double coverage again. And another incomplete pass. Terrence Edwards, he tried to squeeze it. And once again, Max Hall trying to thread the needle.
Another incomplete pass. Another heavily contested throw as you see two defenders, Donovan Alexander, the safety, helping over the top on the route.
Eskimo DBs right now, Dwayne, having no issue reading what the Blue Bombers offense is doing in the air. So Sandro DeAngelis try to put some points on the board here in this third quarter. This is from the 42. It's his longest of the season. The kick is up and it is way wide. The miss will result in a single. Disgust from DeAngelis. It's a 20-point lead for the Eskimos. And I don't think the skipper was very happy either.
Another missed opportunity. Not a lot of life. You can just see the body language over on that Winnipeg sideline.
Reverse is absolutely true for the Eskimos. Again, a game, if you're just joining us, it started with a Blue Bomber touchdown on a return, a punt return, taken away because of a holding penalty on the return. Then a fumble, an Eskimo touchdown, and the Eskimos were off to the races as Fred Stamps is here. Meets up with about 4 Blue Bombers. Fred Stamps, 2 touchdowns in this game. 9-yard pickup.
Fred Stamps, one of the big contributors in the first half of this football game for the Edmonton Eskimos, came in with 7 touchdowns, finished the first half with 9. The chemistry seems to build week after week between he and his quarterback, Mike Riley. Stamps leading the CFL in second down receptions and catches of 30-plus yards coming into this week's games.
Riley steps aside for this play. Kerry Joseph comes in behind center, crashes forward, will get the first down, and then we'll go back to the sideline. Kerry Joseph at one time was one of the stars of this league, and I think it speaks volumes about Kerry Joseph. He could have walked away, and I think he was thinking about it a couple of years ago and did walk away from football. Remember, he helped win a Grey Cup in Saskatchewan. Went to Toronto, of course, was the MOP in the league. And now he's the backup short yardage guy for the Eskimos.
Yeah, but even more than that, Kerry Joseph is one of the dressing room leaders for this team.
Swinging it out. Hugh Charles hasn't been heard from since the first half. Spun around. Yesterday, after the walkthrough, Kavis Reed addressed his team on the logo at center field here and then walked away and let the captains of the team, including Kerry Joseph, all speak. And Joseph talked with us earlier today about what that meeting was all about. Sometimes Kavis Reed says the best thing to do is just be quiet. And he did. He walked away and let the leaders speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kerry Joseph just talked about what they're playing for pride, playing for the Edmonton Eskimos, playing for their head coach, Kavis Reed.
Second down and 2, barring penalty here. This will be the last play of the third quarter. Riley completes another pass to Adarius Bowman. And the progression should give him a first down. The teams will change hands once again. And the Edmonton Eskimos will be 15 minutes away from ending this 8-game losing streak. It has been painful here. A lot of losing for the Eskimos this season. They're a quarter away from getting just their second W of the season. That's it. Third quarter complete. Blue Bombers trying to get something, anything going. But everything is going right for the Edmonton Eskimos on this sunny Saturday afternoon.
It's an NFL doubleheader on TSN. Michael Vick and the Eagles are soaring high after their Monday night win. Next up, Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. Then, it's a battle of the new school of QBs as Colin Kaepernick and the Niners storm into Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. It all starts with Chargers-Eagles at 1, followed by Sunday Night Football at 7. Niners, Seahawks on TSN and TSN Radio.
Hey, Mom, heading to Mike's.
Okay, honey, when will you be home?
8 o'clock.
Oh, 9 is kind of late, don't you think?
What?
Yeah, 10 is late enough for someone your age. Fine, 11, but if you're not home by 11:30, you're grounded.
Okay, deal.
Cialis. Ask your doctor.
The wheat in every mini wheat has got to be just right. The perfect golden color, high in fiber. My dad taught me, and I taught my son out there.
Morning, Pa.
Morning. Wait, who's driving the...
99 bushels of wheat on the farm, 99 bushels of wheat.
With 8 layers of 100% whole grain and fiber, they're as hearty as they are tasty.
Wheat on the farm, 45 bushels of wheat. Take one down, pass it around.
Kellogg's Mini Wheat Cereal. Lots of good in a little biscuit.
And singing Joey Moss, happy birthday, everybody. Are you ready to go?
Hey, okay, folks. We're not going to have any music. I'll give you a 1, 2, 3 count. And away we go with Joey and a lusty happy birthday. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joey. Happy birthday to you. Hey,
what a nice moment. Joey Moss. Name that rings familiar in the city of champions. Joey celebrating his 50th birthday today. Born with Down syndrome. Story here, a remarkable one. Wayne Gretzky got him a job as an equipment guy with the Oilers. Works in the locker room with the Eskimos. Mike Riley taking off. And Mike Riley almost had his head taken off as well on the far sideline, but Joey Moss gets a standing ovation. So happy birthday, Joey Moss, and I'm sure Wayne Gretzky also sends the best, and he gets to go around the stadium track as well.
But even better, the Eskimos.
Take your foul, unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg number 7, 15 yards at the end of the play. First down.
Yes, appear to be on their way to giving Joey a win for birthday number 50.
So let's take a look. Riley again out of the pocket and again taking off, and that was unnecessary. Hence the 15-yard penalty.
Well, probably a little bit of frustration factoring into that decision for Damon Washington.
Riley wants to go again. It better go down, and Kenny Maynard drops him. Second Blue Bombers sack. Mike Riley has over 100 yards rushing. There are running backs who have played in this league for years who have never had a 100-yard rushing day.
Yeah, well, you're standing next to one of them, so we're talking
Sorry
about
that.
Big day for Riley. Again, he's proven himself as a scrambler. And the S have adapted their offense, using that as a little bit more of a weapon as this season has evolved.
That sack, though, second down. There's a penalty flag. Looked like the Eskimo receivers were offside. And Darius Bowman has his second touchdown. But will this stand up? Was it against Winnipeg or was it against Edmonton?
Offside. Edmonton number 4. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, that's one of the reasons why Darius Bowman was so wide open. He almost had his second major score. This will come back.
Keep an eye on those Eskimo receivers. Bowman's number 2 to the field.
Objectionable conduct.
Little head start.
Taunting. Evan, number 85. 10 more yards. Main second down.
Well, those are 2 costly penalties because that almost takes them out of field goal range here. Kavis Reed's not happy. Nate Kuhorn might be coming out of this huddle, and he is. He'll have to hear it from his coach.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Kuhorn was the guy that did it. I saw Shamad Chambers having words with Demond Washington in the end zone, and that's where the flag was thrown. Shamad Chambers, meanwhile, is on the field in Nate Kuhorn's position right now.
Well, if it's Shamad, he might be coming off here momentarily, too. Put Matt Carter in the game. He'll be coming off anyways because it's 3rd down. Well, the Eskimos shot themselves in the foot there. Close to the red zone. They end up the 45-yard line, and Grant Shaw, instead of a Hugh O'Neill field goal attempt at the very least, it will be Grant Shaw punting it away, looking for the coffin corner here. Javon Johnson back. This looks like a good kick. Bouncing, but it will bounce into the end zone for a single point. They get 25-4. The 21-point lead is restored. But so far, what a day for the Eskimos, including big number 91.
The Hoover Dam's power plant uses smart grid technology to conserve energy when it can and make more when needed. The Sierra does the same with direct injection, active fuel management, and variable valve timing for the most fuel-efficient V8 in a pickup, even beating Ford's EcoBoost V6 on the highway, conserving fuel when you don't need it, and creating power when duty calls. The all-new GMC Sierra. Incredible thinking in the form of a truck. That's professional grade.
It's a big one today. We gotta be ready. You're a beast. You're an animal. I'm gonna eat them for breakfast. I'm gonna eat them for lunch. I'm gonna eat them for dinner. Okay, let's do this. That's what I'm talking about. Whether it's a big breakfast, a hearty lunch, or your favorite dinner, Humpty's has an amazing selection of great food. Get your appetite on at Humpty's. I know I do.
Before I switched my team to Rogers, getting through to our communications provider wasn't easy.
Your call is important to us. Your estimated wait time is 15 minutes.
Only Rogers has Live Agent, so I can speak with a small business specialist right away. By phone, in store, or online.
Hi, this is Dave, your Rogers Small Business Specialist.
Get back to business faster with Rogers Live Agent. Switch today and get double the data.
Marcus Howard has 1. The Eskimos have 4 sacks. In this game, they've forced 3 turnovers, 14 points coming off of 2 turnovers early in the game, and really haven't looked back. They have not got much resistance from the Blue Bombers, especially offensively. Bombers offense at a standstill. The only guy who seems to be doing anything is Rory Colhert on the other end of passes from Justin Goltz and Max Hall now.
Well, Bomber quarterbacks have faced pressure throughout this football game. You just see the flurry of sacks here. This isn't even accounting for the hurries and hits on Winnipeg quarterbacks in this ball game. Eskimo defensive line has controlled the trenches, and it's not about to get any easier for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as they're down to 4 healthy offensive linemen. They've got a backup D lineman, Jake Thomas, playing right guard right now. Good day for Greg Marshall's crew.
Greg Marshall spent time in Winnipeg, and other teams, Max Hall.
Timeout, Winnipeg.
Didn't like what he saw here. 11.5 minutes to go, so the pressure is on a defensive guy, Jake Thomas, who doesn't even have his name on his jersey because he has to wear a number in the 50s or 60s. As he goes 2 ways here, plays on the O-line, normally wears number 95.
Yeah, forced into action. This reminds me of one of my old teammates, Stu Laird, a D lineman, who was forced into a similar situation. Stu had a rough day playing defensive line or playing offensive line.
Young guy Jake Thomas, great player in Acadia CIS days. Max Hall goes deep, and what a catch! Contested, and Aaron Kelly comes down with it again, and the Bombers finally have a big play. And Aaron Kelly comes down with it, 26 yards.
Thomas, you can just see the back of number 66 on the play in at right guard. A pretty good job holding his own there, getting a little bit of help from the running back against Ted Laurent. And Aaron Kelly, another terrific catch for number 19 if they can get the ball out to him.
They'll hand it off this time. Will Ford trying to find an opening? He does. Kicks it outside. Ford, sideline. Down near the 15-yard line. His best scamper of the day. Suddenly the Bomber offense springs to life.
But you see that burst that has allowed Will Ford to have some success in the return game for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And just to get to the outside on this one, turn it upfield.
Made a few Eskimos miss, including Eric Samuels. Red zone again, Blue Bombers. Need a bunch of points here. Play action out of the backfield, though. Terrence Edwards spied perfectly this time by Samuels.
Well, Samuels got up slowly after the last play, a little bit banged up after missing that tackle on Will Ford, but rebounds quickly. Again, Samuels, usually a big special teamer for the Edmonton Eskimos, but forced to play every down here on defense due to an earlier knee injury to Chris Robacamba.
Max Hall, 11 of 16, 129 in relief. Needs a touchdown, though, and battling Aaron Kelly on the corner with Joe Burnett. No flag. And the Blue Bombers, who are down 21 with under 10 to go, are electing to go for the field goal here. Taking the points.
Burnett does a nice job staying right in that hip pocket on Aaron Kelly, not allowing him to get any separation.
Credit the Eskimo defense. Dwayne coming in again. The Bombers have been outstanding in the red zone inside the 20-yard line this season, but they have been silenced here. No touchdowns. DeAngelis puts this one through, making the score 25-7. Long road yet still for the Blue Bombers. Their defense needs to force a turnover or two.
Shop at Safeway, swipe your club card, and play. Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to Win. You could win a Troy-built powerful single-stage snow thrower with electric start and remote shoot control. Troy-built, built for life. Shop and play at Safeway.
Have you put your retirement plan on pause? Now you can hit play. Enjoy the kind of retirement you've always wanted, with a 5% annual cash flow guaranteed for 20 years with our new G520 series from CI Investments. Ask your financial advisor about the new G520 series from CI and take your retirement off pause. CI, Canada's investment company.
I'll take Richardson.
I want a Trent.
We make it easy for your favorite players to carry you to victory.
You're my favorite player.
I know.
Touchdown to Marius!
We make the only game with instant video highlights.
Don't get away.
Only winners get wings.
Touchdown, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, but straight to Julio.
And we make it easier to sign up right now.
It is easy.
Very easy.
Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy. Together, we make football.
Get into the game with the TSN Game Tracker presented by GMC Sierra. Track plays and get stats. Follow our Twitter feeds. Watch in-game videos and exclusive coaches playbook features. Go to tsn.ca/game tracker for details. The TSN Game Tracker Canadian Football Edition presented by GMC Sierra.
A moment ago, Mike Riley took his helmet off. Thought maybe he was coming out of the game. No, he took Kerry Joseph's helmet. Because obviously something wrong with the audio system inside that helmet, the speakers.
Yeah, that communication system, equipment man, Dwayne Mandrusiak working to try and repair Riley's helmet on the sidelines.
So Riley has Joseph's helmet, hands it off to Hugh Charles. 9:20 to go. The Eskimos on the verge of getting their second win. This has been an awful season for the Eskimos. In fact, their last 20 games, 3-17. They haven't been this bad, this low in the standings with a 1-9 since 1971. But they realize a win and you get on a roll here. A playoff spot is not out of the question. Riley in trouble, down he goes. Which seems crazy to think, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah, well, it's particularly when you keep eyes on that East Division where nobody's really pulling away, that it has kept those teams within reach for both Edmonton and Winnipeg, that their playoff hopes are alive.
Riley looked like he might have got nicked up on that last play. Bradshaw from his 30. Sidewinder. Javon Johnson again. Cornered at the 30-yard line, forced out of bounds. 8:15 to go. The Bombers need to get something going in a hurry. Otherwise, they'll drop to 2-9.
The Hoover Dam's power plant uses smart grid technology to conserve energy when it can and make more when needed. The Sierra does the same with direct injection, active fuel management, and variable valve timing for the most fuel-efficient V8 in a pickup, even beating Ford's EcoBoost V6 on the highway. Conserving fuel when you don't need it and creating power when duty calls. The all-new GMC Sierra. Incredible thinking in the form of a truck. That's professional grade.
Pick up your phone, call Quest, and instantly you'll be meeting new people. You'll have the best time talking and flirting with so many real, local singles. It's free to try. Put some fun in your night. Call Quest now.
Quest Chat is free to try. Long distance charge may apply. 18+ First Media.
We got here with TD. You see, when my daughter told me she was marrying that guy, I was thrilled. And that's because my TD mortgage has flexible payment options, so I could put a little bit aside to help with the wedding. I'm sure he'll be a good husband, but I'll always be your dad.
Let's find a way with a mortgage payment vacation from TD. Banking can be this comfortable.
Where are your sisters?
I can't find them.
Anna! See my daughter walk by here? Nope.
Are you planning on taking 2 little girls?
No.
Alex.
Where's my daughter?
Prisoners.
Mike Riley on the sideline is being worked on. Looked like he jammed his arm or his hand on that last keep.
Yeah, keep an eye on the left wrist as Riley goes to the turf. Left wrist, elbow hyperextended a little bit there.
Offenses have gone to sleep here in the second half. 1 point for the Eskimos. Just 4 for the Blue Bombers. Terrence Edwards, first down. Riley had such an outstanding first half, and it's not his throwing arm, but might be some concern here. So Jonathan Crompton and Kerry Joseph are warming up. Joseph has his helmet on. 7.5 to go midway. Fourth quarter. Coming back to the football, but swarmed by green and gold on that far side. Aaron Kelly.
Well, that was about the most frantic looking hitch screen. You're going to see quarterback Max Hall under pressure on what's a quick throw. Rennie Curran came free. The receiver Aaron Kelly had to move back to catch that football, and then he was absolutely swamped.
Again, if you're joining us, Justin Goulds started. Was relieved In the second half, the start of the second half, Tim Burke went with Max Hall for a spark. Needs one now in a big way, not getting it. Looking for Clarence Denmark. And the irony, of course, is that there is no Buck Pierce around. You might think, you know, you need winning time, a comeback, and that's what Buck Pierce was good at a few seasons ago. But Buck Pierce now a BC Lion. That's what happened after the Banjo Bowl win a week ago. Traded for Akeem Foster. I'd imagine we're going to see Akeem Foster in the Winnipeg uniform. He's one of those tall receivers, Canadian receiver. Did very well in BC, but became underused.
Yeah, a guy who had a very productive year a couple of years ago, but essentially was beaten out of his starting position by Marco Iannuzzi.
Good kick from Mike Renaud, who's been the busiest Blue Bomber. 6.5 to go. And is Mike Riley coming back out?
He is.
Why not?
Yeah, find him a helmet where the radio works, and away he goes.
He is the Energizer Bunny. He takes a lot of hits, just keeps on ticking. There's his numbers today. Most of those accumulated in the first half here. 3 touchdown passes, 19 on the season.
3 eligible.
3 receiver set this time. Try to chew up some of the clock. And Charles goes up the middle. Second down here for Riley and the Eskimos.
Aside from the scoreboard and trying to put this game away, it'll be interesting to see if the Eskimos try to lean on Charles a little bit here to try and keep Mike Riley from getting any more banged up. No doubt with the time left in the score, even though Winnipeg hasn't shown a lot of signs of life in this football game, there's plenty of time left to play. This game, you're not at closer time just yet, and they want to have their #1 quarterback in there as long as he's able to go.
And a Blue Bomber defense that is capable of being your offense and scoring and forcing a turnover. Something, though, that they have not been able to do today. Great protection by the Eskimos, have been able to hang on to the football. This is another back-to-back set, by the way, Dwayne. Blue Bombers play 5 back-to-backs. This is their 4th this season as Riley continues to go. And I guess the question mark as the time ticks down, maybe within 4 minutes, maybe after this series, that Kavis Reed might just shut down Mike Riley and say, hey, we'll get ready for next week.
Yeah, they'll certainly be monitoring the time as well as the score. And you got to believe they'd like to get a banged-up Mike Riley out of this ball game, but they want to feel they're at a comfortable point to be able to do that. In the meantime, Edmonton center Alex Krosnick is the man down on the play.
Chatting with Mike Riley as we did yesterday. He's a very interesting young man, a very spiritual guy. Has a lot of ink, wears some tattoos. He's got his family crest on his back. He's got a rosary and a cross on his arm, and he has a tattoo right over his heart, and it says, everything happens for a reason. And he explained to us that, you know, he may have wanted, as his dad said, to be a pro football player at the age of 4, but it didn't come easy for him.
No, he's had to believe in that motto in order to keep going. He's been through some journeys, cut a couple times in the National Football League, transferred schools from Washington State to Central Washington during his college career.
He's taken a lot of hits. That time, Fred Stamps couldn't bring that in and collect that, so they'll boot it back to Winnipeg again. But he's come as advertised. The Eskimos and so many other teams wanted Mike Riley. They saw the potential in him in BC, and he's delivered. And I know the record may not speak for it, but it looks like Mike Riley's finally going to get his 2nd win as a starter for the Edmonton Eskimos. Well, a long time coming.
As the team around him improves, and particularly that offensive line, I think you're going to start to see the value in Mike Riley. But
Mon Washington stopped dead in his tracks for a moment, then goes backwards, and the Bombers will get good field position with 5.5 to go. Don't forget, second half of our doubleheader coming up. We'll send you to Mosaic in Regina. Dontrell Inman and the Argonauts. Zach Collaros against Darian Durant, Weston Dressler, and the Rough Riders, who I imagine might come in salivating a little bit this week and a little angry after their loss a week ago.
Well, a loss last week and in very un-Rough Rider-like fashion. Some off-field issues also dominating the headlines out of Regina this week.
Max Hall again, 1st and 10. Handed off again. Will Ford. J.C. Sherritt in on the tackle. Normally in a game like this, whenever J.C. Sherritt is playing, we're talking about him almost every play making a tackle. That hasn't been the case, and clearly he's still trying to shake a little rust off from that broken thumb and just getting back into the lineup.
Yeah, I think making that adjustment back into the lineup, also moving around positions as they've had that 3 linebacker rotation happening, trying to find time for Sherritt, Damaso Munoz, as well as Rennie Curran, who did a good job filling in for Sherritt in the middle.
Miscommunication there on the handoff, but it's a 1st down. It appears that Sherritt looks like he's wincing a lot too.
Yeah, here you see clearly favoring that left arm where he has the cast on a still healing thumb. That last play he led with that arm and shoulder, taking on a bigger offensive lineman, obviously paid a price for it.
And not even trying to wrap up right now. Got hurt earlier in the game. Clarence Denmark on a little slant pattern. Bombers will hurry up again.
And given the time and the score, you'd like to see the Blue Bombers show a little bit more sense of urgency here.
Max Hall goes to the sideline. And on short yardage, in comes their 3rd string quarterback, Jason Boltis, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat, who was playing with Marcel Belfay at Omaha in the United Football League. Of course, played for Marcel in Hamilton as well. An interesting conversation with Marcel Belfay last week, you know, talking about coming back and first as an advisor and then the upheaval in Winnipeg and the offensive coordinator and taking over there. And he says, you know, I was doing a lot of motivational speaking. He was writing a book at the time, doing a little coaching. He was also watching a lot of HGTV and home renovation. And he said that right now I kind of feel like Mike Holmes or Brian Baumler on one of those shows, because I'm trying to renovate a house and renovate an offense as well, trying to gut it and rebuild it. And sometimes that's what has to happen.
Yeah, well, you're going in and you're determining, as J.C. Sherritt heads for the dressing room, you're trying to determine how much is salvageable, really, and then strip it down to that and try and build from there. And that's where things are at for Belfay and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
That's not a good sign for the Eskimos, with Sherritt going back there again, just coming back after 4 games with a broken thumb. Now Boltis did not get the 1st down, so it's 3rd and inches. And this spot should move the sticks. Should also take us down to the 3-minute warning here. Edmonton Eskimos that far away from getting their 2nd win and ending a long and painful losing streak. 25-7, 3-minute warning on the field.
The Hoover Dam's power plant uses smart grid technology to conserve energy when it can and make more when needed. The Sierra does the same with direct injection, active fuel management, and variable valve timing for the most fuel-efficient V8 in a pickup, even beating Ford's EcoBoost V6 on the highway, conserving fuel when you don't need it, and creating power when duty calls. The all-new GMC Sierra. Incredible thinking in the form of a truck. That's professional grade.
PlayStation.
Little reminder for you that Game 2 of our Saturday night doubleheader is in Regina. The Argos are going to try to slow this guy down. Corey Sheets, the league's leading rusher, he and the Riders facing the Argos right after they're done in Edmonton.
Thank you, Dave. Does this guy ever want to shut it down? You ever say, hey, that's it for me. I'm okay. We got the win.
Listen, Mike Riley.
He wants to play.
Yeah, he's waited 3 years for a chance to play. He's not going to give it up that easily.
Right now, Max Hall trying to get the Bombers to the end zone. Again, Rory Colhart, who's been the busiest Blue Bomber receiver. Bat on first down. We'll get about 8. But again, it continues to wind the clock down.
Well, the Bombers' offense at times looked like it has found a little bit more rhythm in the second half under Max Hall, but quarterback still throwing a lot of hurried and pressured passes.
There's the Eskimo rush again, and into that pack, into that scrum goes Will Ford. And you talked about the sense of urgency. Some high percentage passes, but a lot of them have been 2 or 3 yards. The Bombers aren't not going to go for a field goal here. Clearly third down, and be third and about 5 after the loss.
Still a 3-possession football game with under 2.5 to go. No question they have to go for it.
This is really it for the Blue Bombers. They don't get the first down or a touchdown, and forget it. Oh, look at this.
Good play, good decision.
Away. And grabbing the jersey now, Marcus Howard picks it up and rolls down near the 20. Now the ball is kept in play. Still alive. Eric Samuels has it. One of the most bizarre plays you'll ever see. A fumble, a kick, a bat, and a scoop and a score. Now there's a flag down at the 52-yard line. Kavis Reed smiles.
That flag's going to be interference on Max Hall for preventing Odell Willis from chasing after the football. That's going to be interference. Right now, the officials have ruled the ball out of bounds at the 24-yard line, but I'm not so sure. So there you saw Hall holding Willis, interfering. It'll be right after Marcus Howard picked up the football. Did his left foot step out of bounds?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was right when he picked it up.
Munoz then bats it back to Samuels. The officials. There's Howard. Munoz keeps it in play. And we did not hear any whistles. Most certainly it's going to be Eskimo football. Will it be a touchdown or will they be scrimmaging here?
And Kavis Reed enjoys a rare opportunity to smile this season.
It all went wrong right from the beginning. Bad snap. Max Hall went at it.
Interference on a loose ball. Winnipeg number 15. Interference on a loose ball. Edmonton number 91. Go to the second foul, back 10. Edmonton ball.
So there it is. No touchdown. So a lot of grabbing and clutching.
I love y'all boys, mama. Love you.
But Eric Samuels gets some face time. How about Odell Willis in on that as well? He was the guy first to the football and played Grant Shaw. So it's all but over now. The Eskimos are going to get their second win. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. A minute 48 to go. And all that momentum and confidence that the Blue Bombers had coming into Commonwealth Stadium, back to the drawing board and back at it with the Eskimos again next week.
Yeah, it was a good week while it lasted for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but as you said, it's sort of back to square one as they get ready for the rematch next weekend.
Mike Riley is going to stay in this ball game. Minute 48 to go. He's going to hand it off and eat up the clock. Tim Burke told us yesterday, though, that 2 weeks ago when the Bombers played it close against Saskatchewan, that they proved they could play. Last week they proved they could beat the best team. And today the Bombers were all out after Mike Riley, but Riley had more answers.
Nice Sure has over 200 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing. He'll have a few more battle scars to show for it, but he's also going to have another notch in the W column.
90 seconds and counting. Second down. Riley again taking off with the football, and I love his gumption and his spunk and fire. But at some point, with 1:20, and this is Mike Riley's team, and as they go forward, they need a healthy Mike Riley.
I think Mike Riley just officially got the hook with that first down. Jonathan Crompton is into the game. Kavis Reed said thanks, but we need you for the rest of the season.
That's the kind of guy he is, though. He'd be doing that if he was playing touch football somewhere.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. You heard Milt Stiegel say it at halftime. If you were picking your all tough guy team, Mike Riley's your quarterback.
Another first down. Keep it on the ground, pound that ground. Here's the key for the Edmonton Eskimos. Not only they end this 8-game losing streak, this is their first win at home this season. They were 0-5 coming in.
Timeout, Winnipeg.
Guaranteed a losing record at home. They were 6 straight losses dating back to last season at Commonwealth. So with the win, we can officially pencil that in. 2-9.
Yeah, still a lot of ground to make up in that West Division. I suspect that they're casting their gaze eastward right now with their slim playoff hopes.
To go in the West, you'd have to look at the math, and you'd have to think they'd have to run the table, or very close to it, at least even an 8-10. But a 7-11, even a, well, I would say a 6-12, but a 7-11 might get you a spot on a crossover the other way.
Well, there's a possibility that East Division remains completely up for grabs.
But clearly, both the Eskimos and Blue Bombers still have a lot of work here. They're going to have to get some wins in a row, and they've got each other next week. So the Bombers also, like the Eskimos, in this year of a lot of losing for both teams, they also now fall to 2-9. And again, there's the reason we talk about that. Montreal 4-6, Hamilton by all rights. They leave Calgary last night knowing they let one slip away. They're 5-6.
Yeah, you look by record, the Toronto Argonauts lead at 6-4. They're coming up in a few minutes, but that would be third place in the West, which is where BC is right now. So things a lot more within reach looking at the East for both the Eskimos and Blue Bombers trying to gain a postseason berth.
30 seconds to go here. Let it bounce into the end zone again and give up a single point. Well, the Eskimos came out here hungry for a W, and Kavis Reed's pregame speech was all about that.
They say it can't be done, guys. They said it can't be done. They say man couldn't break the 5-minute barrier in the mile. They said man couldn't go to the moon. They're saying we can't come back from 1-9. Who believes? I believe. Who believes? I believe.
They do believe right now. 1-9 is a long way to come back from, but hey,
from the 10.
as Mike Riley and his coach exchange a hug and congratulations. Remember the BC Lions? 0-5 2 years ago, ended up winning the Grey Cup game. Now again, there's a long way to go, but this is a step in a positive direction, mostly that the Eskimos didn't blow it in the fourth quarter or didn't have to come from behind by a large margin, something that they've had to do too often.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the Edmonton Eskimos, I mean, let's not worry about playoffs or anything like that, but this team just needed this win badly.
Boltus stays in. When you look at it, though, this game came off the rails for the Blue Bombers early.
Well,
that
very
punt
early.
return that came back.
Oh, I'd say, honestly, even on their first possession before that punt return, they line up second and short. And, I mean, it was basically 2nd and 1. They didn't get a first down. They ended up punting the football away. A drive where they should have been able to maintain possession. And
Winnipeg number 64. Edmonton chose to decline the penalty and start the clock. Timer, please reset the clock to 25 seconds.
And then it was like a tide that just never stopped. Turnovers. The Eskimo offense was high octane that first half.
Yeah, very good first half for the Eskimos. They'll be seeking a little bit more consistency in their next outing, looking for a 60-minute performance, but not a lot of resistance from the opposition here to push them either.
10 seconds, one more play to go, and then it's round 2 next week. Team that used to square off a lot will square off a lot more next year when Winnipeg moves to the Western Division. Now there is joy in Edmonton. The losing streak is over. 8 painful losses. And the Eskimos' first win of 2013 at Commonwealth. They came out believing early. And now they have to believe that a streak could come their way. They need it. The final here in Edmonton tonight, the Eskimos 25. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers 7. They're back at it next week. The rematch in Winnipeg. Not a good day for the Bombers offense. An exceptional day as Odell Willis goes into the crowd. They are loving it in Edmonton. Why not? It's been a long time. Here's Dave.
Meantime, we are moments away from Darren Durant to the Riders trying to get back to that winning feeling after losing last week to the Bombers. They are hosting the Toronto Argonauts in game number 2 of our Saturday night CFL doubleheader. We still got about 15 minutes or so before they kick off at the Madhouse at Mosaic. Hi, everybody. Dave Randorf, Chris Schultz, Milt Stiegel, and Jock Clowney. 25-7 is the final as the Edmonton Eskimos breathe a sigh of relief. They snap an 8-game losing streak, a very long streak in the long history of this proud football franchise. It was a game, boys, that they really took over in the first half, and after Winnipeg changed quarterbacks, it never really changed.
Yeah, I think this is 2 not very good football teams coming up against each other. That's the reality of the situation, right. And Edmonton found a way to win at home at last. You know, they were one loss away from their worst ever start since 1971. So this is a team that was desperate. But I guess the question is, are these 2 bad football teams? And I'm not sure that they're bad football teams. I think the rest of the league is better. But I think Mike Riley has shown in this game that he is a quarterback that's capable, with protection, of being as good as anybody and beating just about anybody. And that's important, especially when he gets the kind of help that he got today from receiver. He's got Fred Stamps, he's got Darius Bowman, and Bowman is huge. To have this guy in the lineup and contributing is massive. So Mike Riley, I think, got some protection. He got some receiver play, controlled the football, and that was the difference in this ball game.
All right, Jock, and your comments are well said, and we'll hear from Schultz in a moment. But standing by now live at Commonwealth Stadium is Mike Riley, the winning quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos. Mike, it's Dave Randorf in the CFL on TSN studios. Congratulations, and tell us about the emotions on the sidelines. We saw you going up and down the sidelines, hugging all your coaches, your teammates. How hard has this losing streak been on you guys?
Yeah, Dave, it was an emotional victory for sure. You know, we've been working our tails off, not just the players, but the staff and everybody and our fans and community. You know, it's been a long time coming for this win to happen at home. And it just finally feels good to have all that hard work pay off. You know, the guys have earned it. You know, obviously it's a bit late in the season to get this thing started, but better late than never.
What do you think you've learned as a starting quarterback in this league through all of this? And can you take anything from this adversity?
Yeah, certainly. You know, there's a lot to take from all of it. You know, I think it's made everybody on this team stronger. You know, mountains that come up in the future aren't going to seem so tall to climb. But, you know, the big thing is that this is a great league, and every player in here is a professional, and there's no easy week. You know, it's a long season, but it's a grind to get every single win. You know, you come out, even teams playing against us the last couple of weeks, with the record that we had, we were giving them a run for their money. So it's a battle every single week. We know that. We got the same team, you know, in 6 days. So there's there's no rest. We got to get back in the film room and figure out how to attack them best and try to keep this thing going.
You know, Mike, we watched you lose a lot of close ones. There were 5 straight losses by 5 points or less, but as you know, they were still losses, and the losing streak probably peaked emotionally with Ed Hervey, your general manager, saying what he said and singling out some guys. Talk about the character to bounce back and focus and get the job done today.
Yeah, certainly. You know, I think it's a testament to Cavis and the type of coach he is, the type of guys that he brings in here to play for him, and the guys that Ed has brought in. You know, it hasn't been an easy season, as everyone knows, but, you know, you read or hear about how upbeat the locker room is all the time, and that's not just, you know, a statement in the paper. That's reality. These guys come to work every single day. These players love to play for their coach, and, you know, we're going to continue to battle for the rest of the season. We're going to continue to put in that hard work. Nobody's given up, and these guys come in every single day and they give it everything. So, you know, to put their hearts out there like they do and to finally be rewarded for it is a good feeling. But it's one we're going to enjoy, but we got to move past it in the next 24 hours and get ready for the next one.
You know, final thing, Mike, on a personal note, no matter how bad it gets, buddy, you know who's always there for you? Your parents. And we saw shots of your parents in the crowds, Pat and Rhonda, who make the 9-hour drive for all of your games. Talk about the support you've been getting from mom and dad through all this.
Yeah, certainly. My parents, it's not just a new thing for them. You know, my senior year in college, they never missed a game home or away. There was games down in Texas, Utah, and they were all over the place. They never missed a game, and they've been tremendous in their support. It's really nice to have, you know, when the games aren't going so good, to know that they're up there. And then when the victories are had, it's nice to celebrate with them. And my girlfriend Emily's in town too. She was here to support all the way from New York City. Her birthday, she spent today, so we got her a win. We're real happy about that.
Good stuff. Well, we'll let you get out of here and go enjoy with them. Thanks very much for your time, Mike.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
All right, that is Mike Roddy, who passed for 196 yards. He's passed for more yards, certainly in the past, but 103 yards rushing from Riley today. And they finally had to get the hook to get him off the field when Cavis Reed shut him down. Let's get back to you. Your thoughts, starting with you, Milt.
Yeah, I really love Mike Riley. And I love him for the fact that, you know, he's been getting beat up all year long, but he hasn't complained one bit. He just stands in there and plays great ball. And it'll be interesting to see how these team react next week when they play each other again. Will these Edmonton Eskimos be able to ride this momentum into next week? Will the Winnipeg Blue Bombers be able to put this loss behind them and try to get a victory next week? I know one thing next week that these Blue Bombers need to do, Schultz, and that's find a way to score some points on offense.
Well, look, I'm much more optimistic for the Edmonton Eskimos as the season progresses than I am for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I mean, think about these last 2 games. On offense, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers had 0 first downs when they played Saskatchewan at home, and they won that game. This game, at the end of the first quarter, they had -2 yards passing. Now, think about that. This is supposed to be a professional organization with professional football players, but you got to question not so much the heart of the people that are trying to put this offense together, but the bottom line is the talent of the players. They have to really make some consideration to going everywhere they can across North America to try to find themselves a quarterback, because until they find themselves a quarterback, the next Mike Riley, they're not going to progress as an organization. They're going to continue to lose.
All right, boys, let's shift gears and focus on game number 2, which is coming up very shortly. The Toronto Argonauts, who got a big second half against the Alouettes last week to get a win. They go into Regina to take on the Rough Riders, who lost last week. And the big story going in this one, obviously, Jock, is how are the Riders going to react on the field? News broke this week that 3 Saskatchewan Rough Riders had been charged with aggravated assault stemming from an incident outside a bar in Regina way back in late August. Is this going to have a negative effect? Is it going to galvanize this team? What do you expect?
Well, the first thing that people have to realize is this is old news for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I mean, this happened back in August, and so all the chatter that would have happened about this probably happened back then. And that's what it is. It's chatter in a locker room that actually will translate onto the football field if a team lets it becomes a distraction. You know, back in 2001, we had an incident like that with the Alouettes. There was a bar fight with some bikers, and it was all over the media. It got even down to CNN down in the States, and yet we didn't talk about it in the locker room. It was a non-issue. It was a fight, and you know what? Who cares? It has nothing to do with the football team. So I suspect it'll be this way for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Yeah, some of the guys are chatting about it, but you know what? It's over, it's done with, and now it's about football.
Well, just by those visuals of seeing the team together, getting hyped, getting ready to play this game, I think that's an immensely positive sign. Now, if Saskatchewan has the same level of success the first part of the season as they have in this part of the season, it's going to be an outstanding season, and they'll probably win first. I mean, they had 8 wins. They have 8 wins so far, but it's a different team now. Off-field distractions. They don't have their middle linebacker right now. Weston Dressler is hurt. It's a different team right now, and they're playing a Toronto Argonaut team that is 6-4, that's hungry coming in. This has to be a response game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And are they going to get it done? We're going to find out shortly.
Well, the Argonauts, they have problems on their own. You know, they're struggling as a defense. They've been struggling all year long. And their leader, their leading tackler, is out of the game now, Robert McCune. So they have to find a way to make some plays. Their biggest problem is they have to make tackles. As simple as that. Make tackles and they make plays. And their quarterback has to play a total game. He just can't have a good half and think you're going to be these Roughriders. They have the best tailback coming in. He had 178 yards on him last game. He has great second half. So you have to shut down Corey Sheets early and often. If they can do that, they have a chance of winning this game. They have to have a solid game for 60 minutes.
Corey Sheets had a league, or rather a season-low performance last week along the ground against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, so he is maybe slowing down just a little bit, appearing slightly human on his Mission 2K. This guy is a strong runner. Chad Cackard has missed 6 games with a knee injury. He is ready to go. This is a big one coming up. The Argos and the Riders from Regina is next.